Howdy, folks.
Hello, hello. We're just in the countdown phase. Another 4.5 minutes before we flick everything on.
Oh, hi.
We're just all getting funky close to mics tonight, huh?
Mmm.
Let's keep it smooth. Late night jams. Oh man, real talk though. We were in the car for like the last 3 hours, and Andrea was like running me through the voice trying to find.
I'm gonna demand character voices, but I'm well aware that, you know, you might need to workshop the voice a bit. That's okay.
I'm super worried about it.
You're worried?
About voices?
I mean, I was listening to you guys with that WoW bit, and like some of your voices were honestly quite. Like, if I had to cast any sort of like female goblinoid or like feminine voiced zombie, you would be my go.
Perfect.
Aww. Thanks, man. Okay, that's the pump up.
Like the ambient music.
Yeah.
Very much so, yeah.
I'm going to be making a bunch more as we go. I'll be making a bunch more music and uploading it to my YouTube.
You make music?
I do make music.
Oh my god. I wish somebody had told me that. I need music.
I make music.
Oh, make me more music.
I will make you some music.
Is this where you plug your SoundCloud?
My SoundCloud is a disaster. I've got like 80 tracks on there, and they're not the greatest.
All right, boys, smash that like button. Check out my SoundCloud.
Check out my MySpace page.
Ooh, I'm looking at everybody's class stuff.
Yeah, you like that? I knew I had a, well, I guess I didn't know. I suspected none of you guys would have your character cards handy. So I filled them out for you.
I have my character card right in front of me.
Are you looking at my map?
No.
Okay.
That would have been pretty good, though. That would have been pretty good.
I am offended, sir.
Oh man, I don't get angel wings. Oh.
No. Too OP.
Monsters canceled.
Nerf angel wings. Also, if you guys try to power game, there's going to be hell to pay. For example, if you guys look at the Monstrous, they have Mental Dominion, where they can give a fellow hunter 3 commands. And if the hunter does it, they get experience. So you could technically have the Monstrous just tell you guys to do things like, give me a glass of water, rub my feet, walk over there 3 feet, and just pump up the experience. If you do that, I will kill you all.
Whoa.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Wow.
We play for keeps here.
Wow. Okay, I'll just go fuck myself. That's fine.
That's basically what's going to happen.
That's the message, yeah.
Oh shit. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we.
1.
Hi.
There we go.
Grundle taint.
No. Oh, great. Well, we've been streaming. It was just the countdown.
Oh.
Just now, I need someone in chat to press any key, and we can start the stream. Any key, guys. Press any key, and we can get fired up. I do need someone to press any key, though. Oh,
And what?
there we go. Okay, now we are going to play the custom intro music I made. It's a little bit different than the one I sent you guys earlier. I've done a little bit of polishing, added a little bit to it. So I'm going to see if I can get our music monster to play this for us, and then I'll go into the details about what the hell it is we're doing. But first of all, silence for a moment as I try to get the intro to work. Okay, that's the music. So fancy.
Well done.
I'm gonna get that ambient. Yeah. Let's get that ambient music back. All right, we got the ambient music back. We are now officially ready to start. So going forward, that music's going to play during the countdown. We're not actually going to eat into playing time with that. That's just going to be the lead-in music. We're basically going to jump right in going forward. So, I'll talk a little bit about what exactly we're doing, because I realized last night that it's probably my responsibility to know the rules and explain the rules to you guys. So, I will do that. We are using a tabletop RPG system called Monster of the Week. It is a tabletop RPG like D&D, but it's got different rules. Generally speaking, it's more narratively driven. Mechanically, it's very light. RP matters, exposition matters, and the dice rolling is pretty damn light. We're going to get some artwork eventually, but for the most part, for the first couple sessions, this is going to take place in the theater of the mind. I've got the character sheets out here for some of the basic info, but most of, well, I mean, all of the exposition, narrative, description, and all that is going to take place in your minds. The Keeper is the DM. So the DM of D&D is called the Keeper here. So I'm the Keeper, and if you refer to me as a DM, I will kill your character. And I will never roll dice as the DM, sorry, I have to kill my character.
Bye.
Damn it!
Oh, well.
That damn quick.
See you guys next week.
Yep. Thanks for guys. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Did we win? My credits are rolling.
Damn it! All right. As the Keeper, I will never roll dice. I will never roll dice for damage against you. The way combat works in this game is if you roll to quote unquote kick some ass, that's literally what the ability is called. If you roll to kick some ass, you will take damage. There is no avoiding damage in combat. So if you're fighting something strong, maybe don't kick some ass because it will literally just kill you. The player guide suggests looking for other ways to deal damage. So, you know, if you can do something that will cause something to fall on a person or a monster, or trick them into walking into a trap, that's your safest way of dealing damage. Rolling to kick some ass is generally a last resort. Depending on your character, I assume something like the Monstrous loves to kick some ass, but just so you know, it comes with it's a double-edged sword. And then, blah, 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 blah. As for your health, everyone has 7 health. It's called harm. When you take 7 harm, you are dead, and you have to make a new character. Potentially, you could resurrect them with big magic, but that's something that's way further down the road. So, basically, 7 harm and you're dead. I will need you guys to keep track of your 7 health. Please, for the love of God, tell me you're capable of keeping track of 7 health.
Nope.
Fuck!
You got it.
Damn it!
5 health.
Damn, no! It's 7 health. Harm, it's harm.
75 health.
No, it's harm and it's 7. Damn it, you guys.
I have 14 heart points.
You have 14.
God.
You have 14 harm, 7 health.
Did you get your sword, though, out of the chest? You need to bring your sword with you. All
I
right.
left it.
Damn it. That's going to make things harder. One important note, guys. If you take 4 harm, if you're at 4 harm, you become unstable. It's like, imagine like a punctured lung. You need a medical professional to see you at that point, and you will continue to get worse until you die when you hit 4 harm. So basically, harm is a big deal. You don't want to take unnecessary harm. The next thing that you need, there's only 3 things you guys need to keep track of for stats. One is harm. The next one is luck. You have 7 luck. At any point, you can spend a luck to change a roll to a perfect 12, which is the highest roll that you can get. But the problem is that you only have 7 luck, and if you spend them all, your character becomes doomed, and I will write your character's outro. That means that after you have expired all your luck, I will kill your character in a narrative roleplay fashion, like a meteor coming smashing you into blithereens because
Is that what happens when you don't have any luck?
that's what happens to the most unlucky people on the planet. They get hit by a fucking meteor. It's very unlikely.
Fuck me. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited right now.
So 7 luck, 7 harm. And the last thing you need to keep track of is your experience. You get when you get 5 experience, you level up. And leveling up is something we'll take care of later. Hopefully you guys don't roll. You only get experience when you fail a roll. You do not get experience for killing enemies. Most rolls are, if you roll a 10 plus, something really good happens. If you roll a 7 to 9, a little good and a little bad happens. And if you roll a 6 or lower, really bad shit happens, but you get experience. So, you know, there's no matter how the dice roll, you get something good from it. And when you get 5 experience, you level up. We'll a lot of this we'll just iron out when we're playing. But those are the 3 things I need you guys to keep track of actively: your harm, your luck, and your experience. Note about luck: there's no way to ever get luck points back. When you spend one, it is gone forever. For the entirety of the campaign, you have 7 luck. So don't go spending that willy-nilly.
There's no way to get it back, not even a little bit.
Well, okay. I guess technically there is one. When you level up, you can actually choose to get a luck point back. So it was a little bit hyperbolic. There's one, but that's a pretty expensive way to get luck back, man.
Okay.
And then as for rolling dice, the only dice you will ever roll is 2d6. If you're looking at my stream and you're on Roll20, there's this little icon here. This dice. You click on the dice, brings up a dice roller. You can bring it up nice and small. And this advanced roll, you can type in the number 2, change this to a d6, and then you will get a modifier based on what you're rolling. If you're rolling to manipulate someone, you roll plus charm. I will tell you what to add based on your ratings. So if you're the divine and you're trying to manipulate someone, you have a charm +1. So you will roll 2d6 +1. That's another thing we'll just kind of, you know, when you try to do something, we'll iron it out until the rules are, you know, crystal clear. But basically, it's very, very basic. You only ever roll 2d6. Okay, great. Yep, awesome. Off to a great start. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah.
Did you not see this happening? Like,
I should have expected this. So those are the rules. That's pretty simple, pretty basic. Okay, that's good. TOS, guys, come on now. So a little bit about. Oh my God! Holy fuck me!
I'm not saying anything.
God. Just a sec. I just gotta. Do I have something to cover that up with?
Dice roller.
That's true. I guess I could just put my dice roller there. Ubisoft, by the way, that's not a shared opinion of the stream. I love you, Ubisoft.
That was the streamer who put that. That was weird.
No.
Nextsmith314 said that.
Fuck me. Fuck you. So a little bit about the universe. This is a sci-fantasy Western universe. Not to spoil anything too early, but high fantasy things like magic exist in the universe. But also, this takes place on a planetary system very far away from our current solar system and in the distant future. It does technically take place in our current universe, so our history is the history there. Like maybe someone on this planet knows about the ancient tale of Star Wars. That would be a real thing. A little bit about how people got here. There were giant transport ships equipped with massive superlight engines that are loaded up with a sustainable population of humans. Everyone's set into cryosleep and flung far into space to land on and colonize a new planet and solar system. Now, they can't send all of the technology with the ship. They send schematics and information and Kickstarters, but inevitably there's always a huge chunk of time it takes for newly colonized systems to ramp up to speed with the core systems. It's an accelerated place, but the basics like mines and refineries and factories and buildings all need to be assembled. There is no Dragon Ball Z capsule core yet. The system that we're on for this story is actually the exact same system that I ran in one of my previous campaigns, Among the Willows. It's the same planets. If you watched my original D&D campaign, this is the exact same solar map. But pretty much nothing that happened in that campaign has anything to do with here. There was one planet that was never touched in that campaign, so everything that happens is happening on this planet. Unfortunately, the planet was already named in my previous campaign, and there's nothing I can do to change that. So you guys are on the planet Cowhearth. I'll spell that out for you.
Was I born here?
Well, that's a complicated question for you in particular to ask. Everybody else, yes. For you, that's a very complicated question. Perhaps more complicated than even you know.
The answer is no. You were born on Dumb Hearth.
Wow. Damn.
Got him.
Okay, fatty hearth.
So this planet, it's in a period of development where it's a sci-fi, futuristic Western development where everyone's a cowboy in a Blade Runner-esque universe. There aren't as many buildings as Blade Runner, and there isn't as much metal. Just imagine more dirt and a little more attitude with 1/10 the buildings, and they're all made of wood. Kind of like Firefly. So now, oh boy, the nerves. Okay, now on to the interesting stuff. Let's meet the hunters. Of course, they weren't always hunters. Before our story starts proper, we need to see how each hunter got into this. Playing the game, we have got my IRL brother, Milton T. Pike 1.
Hello.
We have my wife, TactiWife, or as most other humans in the universe refer to her, Kaylee.
That's me.
We have Mathradical, who's one of my mods and longtime very real life friends.
Hey, y'all.
And Venalis, some rando we picked up.
Hey.
Hi. God dang it.
But basically, I imagine almost everybody here knows who Venalis is. One of the heavy hitters in the RP universe, owner of the Dark Side series of RP servers, an all-around truly great guy and immensely talented streamer.
I'm fat.
Well,
True.
It does say that, but I thought it might be too mean, but I guess thank you for taking that for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get right into the introductions. Now, I'm going to apologize to the players, because for you guys, this is going to be a lot of exposition. There's going to be a lot of me talking. This is going to be a bit of an atypical game where there's not going to be a plethora of dice rolling. And we're going to go through each person's introduction individually. So I'm going to talk. We're going to start with Venalis, the introduction of Venalis. And what that means is that Math and Milton and Kaylee are not, like, you guys are going to basically just sit there and listen. There are massive pieces of overall story mystery being revealed in everyone's intro, so I do recommend that you listen. But I guess if you wanted to go and jerk off and eat a bag of chips and watch a movie, you could. So apologies to the players, but the audience, it's story time, guys. So let me pull up the introduction to Venalis. All right, Venalis. You are sitting on an upturned barrel deep in a mine shaft. The smell of damp dirt and stale air hangs heavy. A few electrolamps hang off the support beams around you and off the beams leading back up the way you came. There are 3 doors on the right-hand side of this circular-ish room you are currently in. You are sitting at a rough wooden table, the swinging electrolamp above providing limited visibility on your party. There are 5 of you sitting down, 4 of which you are meeting for the first time, and 1 who you have been somewhat introduced to already. Tom, the only one you know, says, "All right, now this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out." But before we hear him out, let's jump back to how we got here. Venalis, you exist as nothingness and everythingness. You kind of stretch out to infinity, but you aren't infinity, you're just a small piece of it. But your small piece is kind of smushed everywhere, if that makes any sense. As a being from the upper planes of the universe, the actual details around your existence are difficult to comprehend, even to you. But the big guy, he knows what's up. Or she, or it. It definitely knows what's up. But that's on more of a need-to-know basis. And you don't need to know the intricacies of your existence for your job. As for your job, that's why you've been summoned. So, before you get your corporeal form, how long have you been this infinite existence of everythingness and nothingness? Like, how long have you been kind of a divine angel of the upper reaches of the universe? Are you kind of the new kid on the block, recently created, or is this whole thing an old hat, kind of picking up jobs, punching the clock? Tell me a little bit about you.
I'd say I'm not an old geezer, but I'm not a spring chicken. Let's go with a solid 532 years old.
532 years old. And so how about the way you handle jobs? Are you nervous every time you get a new job, or is it kind of a just a job for you? Or something else. Feel free to create.
You know what? I'm gonna say that I handle them with a smile.
Handle them with a smile. I love that. Which is funny because you kind of don't really exist, so your weird globular angelic essence just kind of smiles.
Yeah, my aura.
Yeah, your aura. Yeah. Perfect. It's a smiling aura. All right. So you are here, wherever here is. It's kind of everywhere, but right now it's right in this spot. And this spot is kind of like the briefing room or briefing cosmos black hole thing. And you take your seat. Okay. You hover in space where you know you should, and a kind of old-fashioned theater materializes around you. Big red cushioned seats, creaky brown-gray metal upholstery, and unfortunately, sticky floors. You would think the infinite glory of the beyond could afford better floors, but these are sticky and a tiny bit crunchy.
Disgusting.
It's not great. But I mean, you're all angels, so who's going to be the one that's relegated to floor cleaning duty? You're all kind of above that. Yeah. Luckily, there's no one sitting in front of you, so you could put your feet up on the seat if you wanted.
I do that.
Perfect.
I put my ethereal feet up on this. Yeah.
Excellent. So you're sitting there, you're kicking back, you look over, and the theater's basically empty except for one other person here. And you knew them as Bartholomew, or Bilithy for short. At least that was their name last time you met on one of the lower planes. Up here in Angel Land, there are no names. There are no names, no genders, no nothing. It's just kind of existence. And Bilithy, they're a buddy. They would be a good friend if you have good friends. So would you say that you have good friends or mostly just acquaintances?
I'm gonna say I can't really afford to have friends, so I only have acquaintances.
Perfect. That makes sense. All right. So you know Bilithy. You share a cordial nod across the way. And Bilithy's also got their feet kicked up on the seat in front of them, and they're sipping on a massive big gulp of cola, which you see every now and then just spills a little bit onto the floor.
Okay.
And then the projector starts. It's one of those really old projectors with the big dual spools of film and the giant freakishly bright lamps that flickers and crackles. And then an image shows up on the screen. And this is the part that you hate, because they never actually explain the missions to you. They just show you some convoluted imagery that is supposed to explain the mission. Apparently, quote unquote, direct deposition of information would cause your existence to implode. So you have to glean the details from the movie and act on that. The movie starts up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The movie starts up, And the film is one of those old black and white style films where everyone's moving just a bit too fast, like they're running the spools a bit too quickly. And the film is completely silent. The people on the film have no features, no gender, no face, no nothing. They're just weird person puppet mannequins. And it shows a puppet thing comically walking around and tapping other puppets on the head. And the people or puppets that get tapped on the head start jumping up and down and getting down on all fours and generally acting crazy. As these crazy puppets are dancing around, they bump into non-crazy puppets. And as they do, the non-crazy puppets just fall over. And as the crazy puppets bump into more and more people, and all the people fall over and lay around doing nothing, you notice something weird. The ground is starting to look like water in the film, but like weirdly high resolution water, something more like a weird liquid mirror. And you can see a reflection of everything in the ground. And the more people that get bumped into, the clearer that image becomes, until it is crystal clear. You see a reflection of everything that is above, below, on the ground, weird water mirror below. The houses and stuff that are painted on the background suddenly fall over forwards, directly onto the reflection on the water ground. And just before the set hits the ground, you see a puppet wearing wings standing behind the set. Almost like it pushed it over, or maybe it was trying to hold it up. And you know that those puppets with the wings, that you've seen enough of these movies to know that that's you. You are the person that was behind the set, either pushing it over or holding it up. And then just as the set hits the reflected image on the ground, the whole screen goes black. And now comes the part where you need to see if you've successfully understood the point of your mission. You write what your mission is, and if you are right-ish... Oh, just a sec. You write down what your mission is, what you think your mission is. And if you are right-ish, you're allowed to leave. And if you're wrong-ish, you have to sit and watch the movie again.
Okay. Okay.
So,
How do I write this?
yeah, you and Billithy hover out of the theater to the spot just outside the front where there's like it's like the ticket booths where usually you would get your ticket to the movie theater. Instead, a small piece of paper comes out and a pen, and you're expected to write down on the paper what you think the point of your mission is. And so Billithy turns to you and says, "Oh, pretty easy, eh? That one seemed a bit obvious to me, man."
Yeah,
Did you get it?
of course.
Yeah, we have to stop the world from ending, man.
I don't think that's
Yeah,
no.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Did you see the guy who's trying to hold it up? And then it fell down, the whole world ended, man.
I don't think that's right. You know, you go ahead and write down your answer. I'll write down mine, I guess.
Okay,
I
you're
don't think
gonna
that's right.
you're gonna have to watch the whole movie again, man, if you write down the wrong thing.
I mean, it was a pretty quick movie. I'm not too worried. Seemed
guess-
nice.
Yeah, I guess that's right, man. All right. So you write, or you see Billithy write, "Stop the world from ending" on his slip of paper. And what do you write on yours?
I write down I think of like a quick sentence. I write down help humanity fall.
Oh, good. All right. All right. All right. And then you both slip your pieces of paper in through the ticket booth, and you both hear a ding. It's like both of you actually were right-ish enough. You got... there's obviously a fundamental difference between what you guys wrote, but there was enough right in there that you both hear a ding. And as soon as the ding is heard and you look at each other with your weird non-faces, your auras look at each other, the floor opens up out from under you and you fall, which is a weird concept to try to grasp for what you are. but you only fall about like maybe 5 feet. And then Jingles, the butler, greets you. Jingles is the butler that has greeted you every time that you've been sent off on a mission. And he guides you down a long hallway. Good evening, sir. Are you excited for the new mission?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited.
Oh, that's fantastic, sir. Have you seen the new development in the Gamma Quadrant?
The what?
The Gamma Quadrant. It's an old Star Trek reference, sir.
Oh no, I hated Q.
Oh, goodness me. That's unfortunate because you mostly are a Q now, sir.
Oh, okay. I love Q. He's my favorite. I take it back.
Oh, that's excellent. And so you're walking down a special hallway. This is actually a commemorative hallway of all your past missions. Every time that you've been sent to a plane to deal with an issue, you've had to assume the guise of a denizen of that world. You walk past, they're like commemorative tokens of the life you lived when you were helping them. And you walk past a gray vest with a brown-orange jacket and a head of brown hair. The sounds of a busy city fade in, sirens in the distance, rain on pavement. The smell of a courtroom wafts by, and there is a distant pounding of a judge's gavel. Sir, I believe you were called Kane this one. Bishop Kane, was it? What was it like down there as Sir Bishop Kane?
It was wonderful. I had an undefeated record and everybody cowered before me.
That sounds entirely believable, sir. That's just fantastic. Then you walk past a severed hand with a small metallic diamond inset in the wrist. The smell of dust wafts out, and you hear a dinosaur roar in the distance. This one, believe you were also called Bishop Kane, sir? Did you really do the same name twice?
It worked. It worked. Don't shut up. It worked.
I can't imagine using the same name for 2 different missions, sir, but I guess you say it was a successful mission?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was fine. Damn it. Yeah, don't.
You walk past a bicycle hanging on the wall. The whizzing of wheels and the sound of a park are faintly heard. I like this one, sir. I believe you called yourself Skip. What were you doing down there, Skip?
I was working for. I worked for my manager. Her name was Kiki. She was wonderful.
Sounds like quite an adventure, sir. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah. I got the hit on all the troopers down. That was, you know what? Never mind. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I got a mission to get to. Come on.
Then you walk past a flintlock pistol. There's a spray of salt water in the air, and you hear the distant sea shanty and the blast of a cannon. This one was quite recent, was it not? Have you even finished that mission, sir? Galdric Stout, I believe you called yourself Galdric Stout down there on the high seas.
Yeah, that was me. I might have to marry a fat guy. Never mind. It's fine.
Very interesting mission, sir. And then the last portrait is that of a man standing in front of a screen. He has beautiful floppy hair and a nicely kempt beard. And there's a purple icon in front of him on the screen. You can't quite make out what the image is, though, as it's on the dark side of the monitor. Oh, sir, this one is really weird. It doesn't even make sense. The name doesn't even make sense. Venalis? I don't even know what that means. What on earth could your mission have been as this Venalis?
That means slave in Latin.
That's a interesting choice of name, sir. You've been quite a few people down there on the multiverse, haven't you, sir?
Hi.
Did you have a favorite one, sir?
Probably I would probably have to say Venalis. He's more powerful than all of them combined.
Very interesting, sir. Very interesting. Well, this time I hear you're going somewhere new. It's time to pick an appropriate body, sir. As a divine being, you will always have the ability to store any small object you wish in a pocket plane and retrieve it at will. Also, your divine form will be innately powerful against the forces of evil, of course. Additionally, you can summon the might of the beyond to cast out evil and banish any creature from your presence. But as for appearance, he opens up a jacket rack, and in there is the hanging floppy skin of a man or a woman or androgynous or asexual. Which one would you like?
I'll take a man.
Pull on the man's skin over your weird, non-existent form, and suddenly you have a defined space. You exist within the confines of this skin. And then you look in the mirror to see how it looks. But when you look at the mirror, there's something a little bit unsettling. You don't have eyes, just gaping voids into nothingness.
Oh, God. Can you give me something?
Yes, sir, I'm on my way, sir. I'm on my way.
This won't work. This isn't going to work. I will freak everyone out again.
I'm sorry, sir.
This happened when the first bishop came. Come on.
I'm sorry, sir. We're all out, fresh out of the normal eyes, so you'll have to pick one of these. And he wheels in a tray, and the tray has a whole bunch of eyeballs on it. On the tray, there are blazing eyes, terrifying eyes, placid eyes, sparkling eyes, perceptive, starry, and glowing eyes. Which ones would you like? Do you want the options again?
Is there any sort of difference, or is it just cosmetic?
Purely cosmetic.
Okay. I guess I'll go with perceptive eyes.
All right, you put in some eyes, and they just, like, their resting look is kind of an intense stare. So it's a little bit unnerving, but hey, at least you didn't pick the blazing eyes where your eyes are literally on fire all the time.
Yeah, I think that would get me a lot of questions, and I might need to be incognito, so I'm going.
Yeah. You go with creepy guy stare.
Yeah,
Right.
I go and it's smoldering. It's fine.
There you go. All right, and then on another jacket rack he wheels in, there's a set of dirty clothes, a perfect suit, a rumpled suit, casual clothes, and practical clothes. Again, this is just a choice for what you think is going to give you the best opportunity for passing when you go down to the planet. Which clothes would you like?
Perfect suit.
Perfect suit. You fold it nicely, and you put it into a very special briefcase. You learned the hard way that when you teleport down to the planet, if you're wearing the clothes get blasted to pieces. So you carry them in the special briefcase so that you can put them on when you get down there. And then finally, for the last part, Jingles presses a button on the wall, and a whole bunch of panels unfold from the wall, kind of Men in Black style. And there are a series of weapons with a small brass inlay below each weapon. One is a longsword wreathed in flames, and the label reads, Tony's Blazing Longsword. There's an enormous two-handed maul crackling with lightning, and the label reads, The Energizer Bashery. There's a whip covered in razor wire blades, and the label reads, The 51st Shade of Grey. Then there is a small bag with a smiley face on the front, and the label reads, Dr. Smiley's Bag of Laughs. Then on the far wall, there's a gleaming silver trident with a fine leather-wrapped handle. The label reads, Unidentified. This was picked up, you know that this means that this was picked up by another divine and brought back to the infinite beyond, but no one's used it yet and they have no idea what it does. Which weapon would you like to use?
Ooh.
Tony's Blazing Longsword, the Energizer Bashery, the 51st Shade of Grey, Dr. Smiley's Bag of Laughs, or Unidentified.
You know what? I gotta go with the unknown. Let's go the unidentified.
Perfect.
Nice.
You grab this gleaming silver trident, fits nicely into your hand. And you hold it in your left hand. And you pick up your briefcase and you hold it in your right hand. You're standing there ready to depart. And it's kind of an awkward silence where you're just kind of standing there staring at Jingles, and he's kind of standing there staring at you with a bit of a smile on his face. And you guys kind of look away from each other, and then you look back at each other as you wait for it to happen. And then, just as maybe you're going to say something to break the tension, you explode at super mega hyper light speed through space and time, and you explode into existence on Cowhearth. You find yourself in a room with multiple concentric circles drawn on the ground and candles all over. And you recognize this as a regular worshiping place from the people who principally worship on the planet of Ionis. You're not on the planet Ionis. You just know that this is their main religion. And this is where you're going to have a bit of fun. You don't have to shoot from the hip, but you are going to give this religion a name. These guys, as with most religious people, have a few aspects of the afterlife right, but most of it's not quite right. They have enough things right that you would be able to converse with people of the religion of Ionis on their level without blowing their mind or starting a religious war. And I'm going to give you a bit of free reign on what they believe and what's right and what's wrong. For example, do they think that you need to eat a hot dog every Saturday? And additionally, is that real? Do you actually need to eat a hot dog every Saturday? Is that a religious truth from the great divine beyond? I'm going to give you, throughout the campaign, a little bit of freedom with the religious beliefs of Ionis.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind, write it on the notes, and you get to have a little bit of fun with that. Make it work whenever it works. I'll pop some NPCs in every now and then, and you'll be able to have a little bit of creative freedom with that.
All right, I like that.
And so once you're in your body, there's no one here. You can put your clothes on if you would like to. Would you like to put your clothes on?
I'll put my clothes on. I'll put my eyes in first, and then my...
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Probably a good choice. All right. So you feel a small tether in your body. And you know this as your divine direction. You feel this every time. Obviously, you can't go in with an actual contact. So you just have this tether that tells you where to go. All right, I gotta make sure I read this properly. You set off to follow the tether and meet whatever is on the other end. All you know now is that the end of the world is coming. Billethy is going to try to stop it. And you are going to try to make it happen. Billethy's going to make things complicated. But this is the master plan. You're sure of it. You watched that movie. And you know you have to try to make sure the world ends. And the tether that you've felt has led you to the bottom of this mine shaft containing 4 other individuals. You don't know any of them other than Tom. Your divine tether informs you as soon as you see him that his name is Tom. And there's a seat already pulled out for you. You take your seat. And none of this makes a lot of sense right now. It never really does. But you will succeed. Of course you will succeed. Because you're not just a person. You are divine. That is the intro to... Oh no. Oh no, I fucked it up! That's the intro to the character who apparently doesn't have a fucking name because I skipped over that part.
Galdric.
Yeah, so I guess that was the fucking joke that I just skipped right over there, didn't I?
Hi, I'm Galdric.
Well, fuck me. Anyways, there was a joke in there. Damn it. Motherfuck. All right, so let's retroactively imagine that after he looked at all the portraits, he said, "What name would you like to choose for this current mission?" Let's just we're back in that. You're remembering. You go to introduce yourself to Tom. Tom looks at you and says, "Hi, my name's Thomas Whitaker. What's your name?" And then you try to remember what your name was, and you recall back when you were looking at all your halls of accomplishments, this awkward moment that you had with Jingles, when Jingles said, Well, sir, what name would you like to have when you go down this time, sir?
You know what? Part of my mind is still doing this one, so I don't want to mix it up by accident. I'm just gonna stick with Galdric again.
Oh, sir, that was not my favorite name, sir. Could you pick another, sir?
No!
Could you please, sir, just pick any other name, sir. Any other name. You cannot go worse than Galdric. I promise, sir. Just pick another name.
All right, fine. Galdric Stout, but with 2 T's.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful, sir. Please, perhaps we'll just...
One more word out of you and I'll make it 3 T's.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that was the joke that was supposed to happen before. Damn it! But now we did it. There it is. Galdric Stout, the Divine Venalis.
Yay!
All right. So now next we go to Mathradical, aka Victor, aka the Expert. Let me just pull up this intro. Where's the intro? Too many documents. All right. I guess because this one's more of a normal character, what is the character name that you've chosen, since it's not a joke, since it's not a joke that I'm going to miss with your intro?
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to miss this one. You can call me Jake.
Jake! All right. Well, Jake, you are sitting on an empty crate deep in a mine shaft. The smell of damp dirt and stale air hangs heavy. A few electrolamps hang off the support beams around you and off the beams leading back up the way you came. There are 3 doors on the right-hand side of this circular-ish room you are currently in. You are sitting at a rough wooden table, the swinging electrolamp above providing limited visibility on your party. There are 5 of you sitting down, 4 of which you are meeting for the first time, and 1 who you have been introduced to already. Tom, the one you know, says, "All right, now this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out." But before we hear him out, let's jump back to how we got here. So, why don't you tell me what Jake was like in younger life? Was he carefree or disciplined? Give me just, maybe a hot 1 to 2 sentence description of young Jake.
So I think it was a kind of a split between both. Whenever he got to be with Dad, it was real loose, roll out, riding hover cycles when he was way too young, sort of just being reckless and weird. And then when Mom was in the picture, it was, sit up straight, do your homework, yes ma'am, sort of a back and forth.
Gotcha. So Dad was a little bit more of a what would be the word for that? A rebel without a cause kind of thing. And then Mom was more of a like a, this is how you're going to succeed in life kind of person.
Yeah, and Dad was straightening up around Ma too.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay. So then I guess the other thing is that, would you say that Jake was lucky in love? Like, did he get a lot of girls, or was he mostly a big flop? Or somewhere in between? What would you say was his luck in love?
Pretty unlucky.
Pretty unlucky. What were some of his moves that were so wildly unlucky?
Well, sort of that split, being with his mom, sort of learning the prim and proper, but then being out with his dad and learning this sort of like pseudo bad boy, but like a 40-year-old man's version of bad. So when he's 13, he's getting moves from his dad, like,
Gotcha.
Pull the hover bike up real quick, kick it sideways, blow some rocks, and pull your goggles down and be like, "Hey, girl." But of course, I'd just like rip pebbles into a crowd of like 14-year-old girls, and they'd all run screaming, and I'd just be like,
I love it. That's perfect.
"Dang, Pa, I hit it hard," but they all just went running.
All right. Awesome. I love it. Okay. So we jump into a scene a little while later. He's not that young, but you're still young enough that you're working at your dad's shop. Your dad's still around, and it's your dad's scrapping and restoring hover cycle shop. And it's been a long day. There was a lot of work that needed to get done, and you decided to take a little bit of the extra work, and you've worked way late into the evening. Why don't you describe the shop a little bit for me?
All right, so yeah, it's pretty far out because of its size, and Dad sort of tried to do his best to keep the front relatively presentable. But as soon as you come in past the fence turns to like corrugated, like that rib metal. It gets real shady real quick.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cool.
And essentially, all it is a great big scrapyard. And at this age, it probably hasn't expanded yet, so it's really just one garage that's sort of off from the house. And if Mom hasn't sort of spiffed it up into a bigger operation, it's just Dad, me, and then probably two other dudes just working on like one or two hover cycles at a time. It's a pretty small operation.
Okay, perfect. So at this point, you're the only one working here. Everyone's gone home, gone to bed for the night. And as you're flicking off the lights and you're closing the blinds on the door, a woman runs up to the door and knocks on it rather urgently. And through the slats in the blinds that are half closed, you can see a look of desperation in her eyes, like she really wants to get in. But you look her over a little bit, and she doesn't look dangerous. There's no weapon, there's no ragged clothes or track marks. There's nothing that immediately gives you a sign of danger. She just looks like a very scared woman. A beautiful woman, like distractingly attractive, but not dangerous. And somewhat unusually, she's wearing like a green sequined Jessica Rabbit dress. Like she's really quite a looker. And I guess you decide that, she doesn't look too dangerous, so you, I don't want to say that you open the door to hear her, but she does have something to say. How do you want to open the door? Do you want to just let her talk through the window? Kind of, how do you want to address this? There's a woman who looks like she's in trouble and does not look to be a danger.
Yeah, so if she came to the door and was banging, I'd probably look through the slat and then run to like the closest window or any other thing to look out to see if I get a wider view. And if I don't see anything else, I'd kick all the lights on just to sort of illuminate the area and make sure there's not, some fucking biker gang chasing her through the countryside or something.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the dress is so tight that there is no way she has a concealed weapon. And when you look outside there, you don't see anything chasing her. You don't hear anything chasing her. And she's not like crashing on the door. She's very politely knocking on it, but it's urgent. And she's saying, please, could you please let me in? I need help.
Yeah, absolutely. After seeing her twice,
yeah,
I'd slick my hair back a little bit.
Yeah.
Make sure my hat's on straight.
Yeah.
And open up the...
All right, you open the door, and she kind of hurries in, and then helps you kind of push the door closed, because she really doesn't want whatever's out there coming in. And then, now that you're kind of in her physical presence really nice and close for more than half a second, you feel like, have you ever, it's like you want to take care of her. Taking care of her is very important. You suddenly have a very personal investment in whatever she's worried about. Like, have you ever been in love? Has Jake ever been in love before?
Absolutely not.
So this is a completely new feeling. This is kind of what you think love feels like. It's like a desire to protect someone, and like your heart might break if they left or died. But this is like compulsive and manic. Like this is a desperate kind of frantic love. You feel like your entire personality might break if harm came to her. It's like love at first sight, but devastatingly desperate love. When you look into her eyes, you realize you would do anything for her. Like this person now matters more to you than anyone else in the world. And she explains to you that she needs protection. She's run far enough away from a person called, quote unquote, him. She says, please, you have to help me. He's coming for me. I can't explain. There isn't much time. But if he gets close, his voice will pop into my head and then it's all over.
Okay. So
I need to go somewhere deep in the underground or protected, thick walls, something that can stop him from getting in my head. Please, do you have anything somewhere very secure where they can keep me locked up and keep them locked out? Just, do you have somewhere? This is the only place that had lights on at this time of night, and it's far enough out of town. I thought I might be safe. Please tell me that you have somewhere for me.
All right, so he's got a checklist that he and Dad and Mom have gone over 100 times, and this all just kicks in sort of slow, practiced, just 1, 2, 3, methodical.
Yeah.
All the lights go off. A panel on the wall gets pulled open. I hit all the switches. Deadbolts drop on all the garage doors. I lead her to a back room. We go through one door and sort of turn around into what looks like a closet. And I'll sort of pull her behind me, and we'll go down this narrow set of steps. And as we go down there, it looks sort of just like a root cellar or like a underground cellar. And in the back of it, there's this rack filled with just like big old buckets of like pancake and biscuit mix. And there's 50-gallon, those like blue plastic water barrels.
Yeah.
I slide one of these barrels out of the way, the one that's empty, and there's a hatch in the floor. So I pull up this hatch in the floor, and it leads to another narrow staircase down. And I'll sort of push her down in front of me. And as I push her down, I pull the barrel back over the hatch, close the hatch, lock it, and we'll sort of descend in darkness. So I'll reach out for her shoulder, and when we get to the light switch, I'll pop it on, and we find ourselves in a sort of just like a big square concrete walled bunker.
My God, I thought maybe some sort of a mechanic shop would have a safe place, but I gotta say, this is far beyond anything I expected. What is this? Why do you have this? I'm a little bit afraid.
My parents are just weird, end of days kind of stuff.
Like they're gonna cause the end of days?
No, I mean, it's the whole like it's coming thing. So we just built this in case it does, and then we're.
Oh, okay. Well, this is perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sweater, water. You cold, hot? You need a drink? You hungry? Anything.
This is gonna sound weird, but I'm actually perfectly fine.
All right.
Thank you, though. And then she obviously she requests to stay the night, and I'm gonna ask, do you put the moves on her? Do you put some of those classic Jake moves on her?
I feel like I haven't felt this way ever, so it would almost feel weird to try.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
So I think it would almost be like this awkward reverence where I'm trying to figure this out. Because if I feel this strongly about this, just this need to protect, I would be almost like weirdly, not subservient, but like overly clingy. Like,
yeah.
Is it a little bit too hot? Is it a little bit too cold? Sure you don't want coffee or tea, something? Can I help? Just tell me something.
Totally. Okay. Then we're gonna do a roll. Because it sounds to me like you are doing the definition of kind of acting under pressure because you feel this kind of manic pressure towards her and you're just trying to act normal. So the act would be to act normal. That's what you're going to roll. So you're going to roll plus cool to act under pressure. And I believe. Okay, so because you have the ability, I've read about this sort of thing. You roll plus sharp instead of plus cool when you act under pressure. So you roll 2d6 plus 2. Oh shit, 11. Damn. Okay, just like I gotta look this up now.
I act so normal.
11. Okay, yeah. On a 10 plus, you do what you set out to do. So you just, you manage to kind of, I guess it kind of kicks in this. It's like, you kind of thought your parents were maybe a bit crazy for doing this doomsday prepping. But suddenly you saw this perfect use for this bunker. and you hit all the switches right. You went down there, you made sure that nobody followed you. You said everything properly, and you have basically acted exactly like a person that you can rely on and count on. So back to this. Okay, so then she spends the night. And I am going to say, she would request that you stay in the room with her to make sure that nothing comes and gets her. You think that it's crazy, I guess, that something could get through down to here, but she's pretty sure that she needs to be protected. So do you stay down there with her?
Yeah, and if the feeling is as intense as you describe it, I think I might get a little weird with it. Like, if she thinks it's dangerous, I'd try to barricade the bottom of the steps, like not the top, but the very bottom.
Okay.
And make sure she has a cot that's like all the way back in the corner so she can see the stairs, like to try to situate the room just so. And if she's okay with staying down there for like a second by herself, I'd probably run upstairs and see if I could grab like a shotgun or something from the back of the shop.
Okay. I guess, you offer to get a shotgun, and she says, no, that's quite all right. We won't need something like that. I just need someone here to handle it if something happens. If he gets here and he gets in my head, I just need someone to handle it. I don't think a shotgun would be necessary. I just need someone here in case things kind of pop off.
What's handling it?
It's just, I guess I don't really know. Honestly, I don't really know what to expect, but I don't think it's anything you would need to shoot. I don't think it's anything you would need to destroy. I think it maybe going somewhere. Maybe we'd have to go somewhere really fast, but I don't think there would be killing.
All right.
I just need you to be here in case something happens. I wish I could tell you more, but I think it'll all be better in the morning. I'm sure he'll just move on. It'll pass by, and then I can explain it. I think I need to sleep.
Oh, I mean, all right then. Do you think we're gonna need a quick get out though? Is that a thing I should get ready?
I mean, maybe. Please, just think maybe of a way to get us far out of town, away from town. Just have a plan.
Yeah, I'm a plan and checking boxes kind of person. But could you sit tight for, a minute, and I could get something ready? So if whatever he does in whatever that is, we can just do the go.
Okay, but please do be quick.
All right, so I'll run back upstairs, and one of the bikes that's currently running in the shop, I don't give a fuck who owns it. I'll just sort of line it up to one of the garage doors that opens out and have it all ready so that if we need to, we can just hop on it. I can hit the garage door button and we can just run it.
Okay, perfect.
And then I'll rush back downstairs and, all right, are you good?
She is already asleep.
All right, so I think I wouldn't want to get like right next to her because of this weird like reverence thing.
Yeah.
So I'd be like a respectful sleeping distance away and kind of try to watch, but fail and just fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of wake up, you're pointed at the door to make sure if something's coming in the door, but you're actually awoken by a very soft hand on your shoulder, and you immediately know it's her. Like it gives you nothing but immediate comfort. Her hand on your shoulder is this really glorious way to wake up. You just feel so good and so comforted. And her hand, like as soon as she touches you, you very gently wake up, and she says, "Listen, mister, it was real kind of you to try to help, but unfortunately it didn't work. I don't exactly know the details, but I do need to tell you something, because I think you're the only one I can tell this to. It's gonna sound weird, but I need you to just listen, because my time is very short. Magic is real. Magic is real. Magic is so real that I am made of magic. I'm not a real person. This man, he made me to be his servant. And I got away. I got away from his influence when he was distracted. But he's found me. I can feel him in my head. He's very mad, and he's going to unmake me.
I think I want to like try to reach up to sort of like if there's any hair in her face, sort of like move it and start looking for a head wound.
Yeah.
See if there's any like concussion on her and sort of look around and just
Yeah. And as you do that, she says, listen, I know, somehow, I think you can bring me back. I think there's a reversibility to this. We don't have much time, but I need... And she starts to look like she's having a real reaction to some drugs. Like, she looks like some sort of an addict that is having a major fit right now. Then you see these horizontal lines appear on her face. It looks almost like a wound opening up on her cheek, but the wound spreads across the center of her nose and over to the other cheek. And then another one appears on her just below that, maybe a couple centimeters below that. And then her eyes go really, really wide with absolute horror as you watch her actually, literally begin to unravel before you. There's nothing on the inside, purely hollow, as her form begins to unravel and fall apart more and more. It's like a coiled piece of paper that begins to fall apart in front of you.
A fucking nightmare.
And the coiled person paper on the ground then just turns to ash. And you break on the inside. She didn't just leave or die. She was unmade. This person who was your whole heart, after knowing her for just one night, this person that meant more to you than anything in the entire world, is gone in a way that you don't even understand. Now, your whole life, you've known that magic and monsters just ain't real. But something has to explain what you just saw. She said something crazy. She said that magic is real, and if you're ever going to find a way to bring her back, because she said there would be a way to bring her back, or maybe understand what strange part of the universe is real that she called magic, you're going to have to learn about it. It's time to hit the books and become informed. And now we're actually going to hop forward years. We're going to say this was quite a while ago. This is far before our story starts, because years pass. You learn and learn. You had a giant library in this doomsday bunker. It was a source of information so that you guys could do anything you needed to do. It had as much information as your family could possibly get their hands on. And the going is so slow at the start, you don't even know what to look for. But you eventually start learning, and you start to find these people who can do this quote-unquote magic. It's weird, and there seems to be no rhyme or reason or logic to it. And some of them you have to kill. You eventually learn to kill these people because they use this magic for evil, personal gain, and chaos. And you have to put them down. And some of them you have to capture and interrogate. But the progress on learning from your captives is very slow. There are often wild goose chases and lies upon lies that misdirect you and lead you in the wrong direction for years on end. These setbacks constantly are an annoyance to you. But then, eventually one day, you meet a person who says he can help. His name is Thomas Whitaker. And he's very vague. You get the sense that he could tell you a lot more than he actually lets on. But the little bit that he tells you really puts you on the right track. You start gaining information at more of a rapid pace. You learn about these people. They look like regular people. Like, they look like cowboys. They don't have robes and scepters and crystal balls. These look like cowboys and gentlemen and bank owners. They just look like people. But they can do weird, freaky magic that you don't understand. And the worst part is you've learned that some of them come back. After you kill them, and kill them in a way that should keep them dead, flamethrower, chopped in half, Gatling gun down, blown up, they come back sometimes. And you can't figure out why. And as much as you learn, you don't really learn any way to help bring back that woman who you never even learned her name. And so I guess I want to ask, what changes about Jake over the course of this time? From the moment he watches this woman, his whole heart uncoil before him, to this day, years later, where he's learned about these people who use this magic for evil. What changes about Jake over this time?
Well, the young Jake, as you mentioned, I don't think would ever have imagined killing a man, torturing a man, interrogating a man.
Yeah.
The sort of decline that led to that, the sort of first just the confused rage that would have come from him in the like minutes following, just throwing cots against walls and screaming, never having understood loss like this, which eventually would have led into a relatively, I guess, short depression because I found my coping mechanisms quickly.
Yep.
But that sort of led into the weird conspiracy theory stuff. Like the parents were okay with it for a time, with, you know, their doomsday preppers. They kind of subscribe to a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I think it got even a little too weird for them. And it got to the point where I'm practically living down in the bunker under the shop.
Gotcha.
I stopped taking notes on normal, like, electronic devices, on phones, on paper, because I felt like they could be used against me.
Yep.
I have these tall filing cabinets and like stackable crates that are just filled with old Nokia brick phones.
That's awesome.
And every single one, they're all just filed. They can never break. Battery lasts forever. I just keep them off. And everything that I've ever done has been recorded in these phones. And they've become like my tie to her. And I will never not have that phone on me. One of
Awesome. Okay. Well then, one fateful day, Tom shows up at the shop and he meets you down in the bunker. And he says he's ready to bring your research to a new level. The information he's ready to finally give you is going to change everything. But he has a couple people that he's gathered to help with this project. And he says he couldn't have told you this before because for his plan to work, he doesn't need a soldier. He needs an expert. And that is the intro to Jake Marshall. Next up is my brother, Milton T. Pike.
That's me.
Yep. Milton, let me pull up your intro here. So many documents.
Of course, he's the fucking monstrous.
All right, so Milton,
Yes.
your character has a name, but
Yep.
before they had this name, they had another name. There was an there was an incident that caused your character to become monstrous.
Right.
But before that, he had a real name.
Right.
So let's dive into the history of your character.
Sure.
You are sitting on the ground in a deep mine shaft. The smell of damp dirt and stale air hangs heavy. A few electrolamps hang off the support beams around you and off the beams leading back up the way you came. There are 3 doors on the right-hand side of this circular-ish room you are currently in. You are sitting at a rough wooden table, the swinging electrolamp above providing limited visibility on your party. There are 5 of you sitting down, 4 of which you are meeting for the first time, and 1 who you have been introduced to already. Tom, the only one you know, says, "All right, now this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out." But before we hear him out, let's jump back to how we got here. As I was saying, at one point you were just a man, just a regular dude. What was your job? What was your job when you were just a guy?
So my job was after being disgruntled by the closing of a mine in my town and having been a miner and having sort of the rough hands and rough attitude and hard cough of a miner, I after the mine closed and I found myself without work, I did some introspection and realized that I desired a simpler life, and vowed to give up the hard ways of being a miner, and decided to open up my town's only kennel where I took care of dogs.
Holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
I dedicated my life. I replaced the people in my life that were toxic with dogs.
That is awesome. Okay, and what was your name? What was your name back before this incident? You don't go by that name anymore, and you possibly never will, but what was your name?
My name before the incident was first name Qual, last name Keck.
Perfect. Okay. So, back in the day, Mr. Qual, Mr. Keck, was he a straight shooter, or was he kind of a rule breaker? Like, did he get into trouble, or was he pretty straight-laced?
He was very much a hard drinking, hard spitting. I don't have time for anybody. Fuck you. If the police showed up or anything, or the sheriff was giving him a hard time, he was, I don't got fucking time for you. Regularly ejected out of bars, hard smoking, hard drinking. His quarters were a dump. He had a rap sheet a mile long with the local constabulary.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So then the next question was, did you have a family or did you live alone? Sounded like you lived alone.
Yep, exactly. He lived alone for his entire history. He did not have a stable life where he grew up, and so he moved out as soon as he was able, like 13, 14 years old, got out of the house and lived on the streets for a while until he could save up some money working in the mine, and then got a shitty little 1-bedroom place where he started collecting booze bottles.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So then I guess after the incident, you lost basically everything that was in that life. Did you lose? Was there anything you left behind, or was there not much to leave?
In terms of like material possessions or people or anything?
Yeah,
like
like
that?
possessions and relationships.
He didn't take anything with him.
Yeah.
Everything was wiped. The only thing that he brought. So is the question, did he bring anything with him?
No, mostly just like like if after this incident, like let's say he lived with his wife and kids kind of thing, if he had a family.
Right.
After this incident, he couldn't live with his wife and kids anymore. Were there any other things?
Right.
He didn't have wife and kids, so there was none of that leaving behind. Was there any were there any ties, any connections to his previous life that got severed, or did he have nothing? Was this just another step?
This was it was the case of a person who was so toxic and so wanted nothing to do with the world, and always vowed against friends and friendship and personal connections, that if he were to disappear off the face of the planet one day, no one would notice the next.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right then. So then we're gonna that's the snapshot of the life. And this right now is basically the last evening of that life. We fast forward to a party. And you do not like these parties. It's a big campfire. It's out in the open air, which is kind of nice because you can pull up your chair a little away from the group. You don't have to mingle with people. It's a giant campfire. People are roasting burgers and steaks, drinking beer under the desert sky. It's just a big flat desert as far as the eye can see on this side of town, and the sun is going down, so the fire is providing your illumination.
Okay.
And now I have the question, do you like these sorts of parties? And I'm pretty sure the answer to that is not really.
Absolutely not. It's usually an excuse to drink for free.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Okay. So you have a burger and you're eating the burger. You've taken your first bite of this burger, and it's amazing. This is a good fucking burger. Frank Lynch. I have here your old buddy Frank, but I guess he would be your old acquaintance Frank, the guy who I guess maybe was your buddy in as much as he's the only exactly you worked with him and he's the only motherfucker who you even decided to learn their name, and it's mostly
I can tolerate him.
Exactly. It's probably just because his locker was beside yours, so you saw the name Frank every day that that's the only reason you know Frank Lynch.
Okay.
So Frank is manning the burgers, and you take a bite of this burger, and it is fucking amazing. It's got this kind of cinnamon cloves chili spice that makes it probably the tastiest burger you've ever fucking eaten. Unfortunately, you were one of the last people to get your burger. Everyone's been talking about them the whole time, and it's just been irritating having all these people eating these burgers, talking about how great it is, and you haven't got yours yet, and it's just kind of fucking irritating because you want to have a fucking burger, and you don't believe that it's as good as they're saying. These people are like, oh my god, this burger's so good, I'm gonna eat the whole burger tonight. I'm gonna spoil myself and eat the whole burger. And it's just irritating. But then you get the burger and you take a bite, and you almost want to make that voice. It's so good, you almost want to make that voice, but you don't. You don't. And you sit there and you're chewing it, and then you taste something that's a little bit tangy and a little bit creamy. And you look down, and this burger is fucking dripping in mayo. Some motherfucker decided to just slather this otherwise godly hamburger in the worst fucking condiment ever invented. So I guess the question is, do you finish the burger or do you just spit that fucking garbage on the ground?
I look for the person sitting closest to me and hurl the rest of the hamburger at their head as hard as I without a second thought. I fucking throw the hamburger as hard as I can at their fucking head.
So the person sitting beside you is kind of talking to their friend, so it's like the back of their head. Right. And they're being so irritating. And you actually, like, the final fucking straws, you hear them say, oh, the mayo just really brings out the flavor of the meat. Oh, this mayo is so good. Oh, I just wish I had more mayo. Splat! Fucking lettuce and tomatoes and like a bucket of fucking mayo go exploding off the back of this guy's head as you hurl the entire fucking hamburger at his head.
Okay.
But you actually notice it doesn't really bother him. He's just sitting there, and he kind of goes on uninterrupted. He's just like, oh man, I might need to restock on mayo when I get home. And then you look around, and you see that everyone is smiling with their eyes kind of half closed, and they're giggling. It's kind of like they're drunk. But no one has been drinking that much. Like, you've been manning the beer station pretty hard in that you have been returning to the beer station on a regular basis. And you have been drinking far more than anyone else. And they shouldn't be acting like that. It's more like they're high, like they're on some kind of fucking drugs. But you didn't see anyone bring the fun stuff in. Like, this has been a pretty clean party as far as you know.
Okay.
And then you think of that word, clean party. And that's kind of a funny word.
Okay.
And then you realized that's actually the funniest joke you've ever heard. Clean party? Holy fuck. And I mean, you can roll to act under pressure to not laugh out loud, but you're going to laugh out loud. So do you want to roll against it or do you want to laugh out loud?
I'm going to roll against it.
All right.
The Qual is Mr.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily, against, like he doesn't hate people per se. He just wants nothing to do with them and doesn't want to associate. So he doesn't want to give anybody an excuse to be like, oh, look, he's participating in normal human emotions. Yeah. So he's going to fight it as hard as he can.
Awesome. Okay, so you're going to roll to act under pressure. You're going to try to not laugh even though you really fucking want to. So you're going to roll plus cool, which means you're going to roll 2d6 minus 1. Yep. Oh boy. All right, let me look at the rules.
I laugh really high pitched and accidentally shit my pants.
Yeah, honestly, that's basically exactly what happens, because act under pressure. On a miss, things go to hell. That's literally what it says in the rule book. So
Okay.
things go to hell in that you squeal. Like, you start squealing laughing, and you legitimately shit your pants. Like, straight up actually shit your pants.
Okay.
Just, it's the most opposite you could have ever wanted that to go.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to the intro. Okay. So you're laughing really, really, uncharacteristically.
Yeah.
Very, very loud. And then you realize that you've probably been laughing for a half an hour straight. For 30 minutes, you have been laughing as hard as you can possibly laugh. And your ribs actually hurt. Like, you have bruised your ribs. You have been laughing so hard for so long.
Okay.
But that's okay. It's okay, actually, because the sun's gone now, and it's dark out, and it's getting cold. Like, really quite cold. You're out on the desert, and nobody's been feeding the fire. So it's really quite cold, but it feels amazing. The cold feels like the temperature you have always wanted it to be. Like, if you could be anything, you would be this cold. You would be cold. And actually, you have a compulsion to take your shirt off. And I'm going to say that act under pressure was so fucking bad, you just tear your shirt off. The fabric is way too fucking warm, and you just love this cold so much that you just tear your shirt off. And then you see other people at the party starting to take their clothes off too. You're all laughing so loud, and you're peeling your clothes off. And it's like everyone wants to get cold. Some people are kicking dirt on the fire. And then you see some people dumping the ice on themselves. The ice that was keeping the beer cold, they're dumping the ice on themselves to try to get colder. And they're all making these really, really awkward orgasm faces when they dump the ice on themselves. Like, this feels fucking amazing.
Okay.
But then you see something really weird. The people that dump ice on themselves, the people getting the coldest, start to look weird. Some of them start to grow a lot of hair, like they're hairier than you noticed, and it seems like they're getting hairier by the moment.
Okay.
And some of them seem to be getting bigger, like they're getting taller and thicker, and some of them are hunching over. And then you see their faces start to warp and bend, and you hear these disgusting sounds of bones breaking as their bodies start to twist and warp.
Christ.
And then you look over at Frank. He's completely naked, throwing ice on himself. And one of his arms, just one, is huge. It's as long as the rest of his body, and it's fucking shredded with muscle. And he's laughing like a crazy person. And then he starts to go full Hulk. His whole body starts to get big and pop. And you hear these splintering, cracking, creaking, twisting sounds as his whole body just starts to grow faster than it can handle.
Okay.
And then you notice your arms are getting longer, and you feel amazingly strong, but also a little bit scared. Like, this is now officially fucked up. Looking at all these people and hearing all these sounds, these groans and laughs, and breaking bones and tearing flesh, it is really unsettling. Okay. And you feel yourself kind of snap back to your conscious state. And you suddenly look around, and you are in the middle of a gang of strangely mutated werewolf-like Hulk people.
Okay.
And some of them have fins, some of them have scales, some of them have fur. Yeah. Some of them are huge and muscly, and others are very lithe, freakishly thin. Like, you wonder how they have any internal organs. They're so thin. Okay. Then they all get up, and they start heading in the same direction. They all just start running in the same direction. And you feel like, shit, yeah, that's the way to go. We got to go that way. And they take off at a full sprint, and they are faster than any human you've ever seen. And you really want to go that way. Do you go that way, or do you want to go another way?
I think I'm so swept up in like the fact that I was laughing so unbelievably hard, and laughing is something that I never do.
Yeah.
Never find anything funny or enjoyable. that I just figure that this is all whatever I'm finding so funny now, because
Yeah.
I've sort of forgotten the reason I was laughing in the first place. I figure this must all be part of the ongoing joke, so I run with them.
Yeah, no, it just feels totally natural. It
Yep.
feels like, this is what we got to do.
It's one of the first times my brain has experienced dopamine that I can remember.
Exactly.
And I just figure that this is the way to keep on getting.
And so you start running, and you kind of scare yourself with how fast you can run. You fucking tear off, and you run so fast, and you feel so strong. You actually feel like the leg muscles might snap your leg bones. But it gets so cold out in the desert that your bones start to feel like steel. Like there's nothing in the world that could break your fucking bones at this point. And the colder it gets, the stronger you feel, and the faster you run. And then you feel this urge for violence, this uncontrollable urge for violence and destruction. And you're hungry. You're hungry like you have never been hungry in your entire life.
Okay.
You finally get to your destination. It's just some shitty shack town. It's a nothing, nowhere place with one store and a couple houses of a people just trying to make it on their own. And when you get there, that overwhelming urge for destruction completely overtakes you. You and all the other partygoers start literally tearing down the houses. You punch holes in walls. You rip doors off their hinges. And you go inside the houses. You throw open the fridges because you want to eat what's in there. It's cold in the fridge. And you eat everything in the fridge. And when I say everything, I don't just mean the food. I mean the Tupperware, the glass, the metal. You eat literally everything that's in there. It tears at your mouth. But you're just so hungry. You have to try eating all of it. But none of it satiates you. You're not filling up. And the hunger is getting worse. Then in one house, a person wakes up. Obviously, you guys are making a huge amount of noise, and this person is one of those people who says, "Not in my fucking house. Not in my fucking house." You turn around, and you see a person with a loaded double-barrel shotgun aimed right at you. And when you turn and look at him, the sight of how horrifying you've become causes him to immediately unload 2 rounds of buckshot directly into you.
Oh.
Now this would, at this range, at maybe 6 feet away, this would kill a normal person. But for you, you take 2 harm. It hurts. But it doesn't hurt nearly as much as 2 rounds of fucking buckshot should have hurt. And then you feel this pull. Like you look at him and you're angry because you've been angry this whole time, but now you realize he looks tasty. Like you are so hungry and you just know that he is exactly what you need to eat. Do you attack him?
Oh man, especially after this motherfucker just shot me, I don't even try to resist.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. You lunge
crack
at
his
him.
skull open like a fucking egg and drink the inside.
Absolutely. We're not even going to roll to kick some ass because this guy was so unprepared. You just completely overwhelm him. And he's a full-grown man. He's one of those kind of hard-ass rednecks, get the fuck off my property, I got a shotgun type guys. And he feels weaker than a child for you to mangle. Like he tries to put his arms in the way, and you can just with one hand control both of his arms, and you just tear him to pieces. You shred him to absolute fucking smithereens all over his living room, and you eat the meat there and it's so good. It's so good. You feel full. You feel so satiated. It's exactly what you wanted.
Okay.
But then after you're satiated, you kind of come back to yourself and you realize that you're sitting naked in the middle of a man's living room with a torn up human being thrown all over. And the gore is dripping from your mouth. And you are horrified at what just happened. Just a couple hours ago, you were sitting at a party enjoying a beer, eating a stupid fucking mayo burger, and now you have ripped a human being to pieces and eaten him.
Okay.
And you feel this urge to just run away. I think you just run out of town and you look for a hole in the ground, anywhere you can just try to sleep this off, this nightmare, this whatever this is. You just need to get a bit of sleep. You just need to sleep this fucking horrible event off.
Okay.
So you kind of find this hole in the ground next to a rock. You dig it a bit deeper where it's nice and cool, and you just curl into the fetal position, naked in the dirt. And the next morning, you're woken up by the awful warmth of the sun. The sun peeks out, and the warmth of it is sickening. You feel weaker, and you feel sick to your stomach with the warmth of the sun. It's not necessarily the light, it's the heat that makes you feel awful. And then this silhouette blocks the sun. This rather slender man, not Slenderman, stands in front of the sun, and he's a little bit hesitant because of just what you look like. But he kind of overcomes that, and he says, "Oh there, friend. Do you need help? It looks like you need a hand. You look awful."
Help. Need help.
God, sir. All right, listen. My name is Thomas Whitaker. I tracked you from the town, and I think I might know what's happening. I think I can help you. I need you to. I'll need you to come with me, and please, just don't attack me. I will help you. I know how to help you. Please.
Man, look tasty.
I know what that is. I know, and I can help you. I know the hunger has got to be strong, but I will help you. I can help you control the hunger if you just don't attack me. I can help you with this.
Go.
And he wants to take you to his bunker, which is deep in a mine shaft. He leads you there. He tries to keep you cool. He doesn't understand this cold thing. He doesn't understand that. It takes a couple failed communications before he understands that you need cold. It's not just dark. He tries to keep the sun from your eyes, but then he learns that it's this cold. You need the cold more than you need the dark. And then this is a bit further back in time because you actually spend a few months with Tom. He brings you down to the mine shaft, and he has a cage room for you to lock yourself in when the hunger gets too strong. He's got shackles for you to help shackle yourself to when you feel the urges for violence. And he does some things that you don't understand. He does things with his hands and his words that help. Not a lot. They don't fix it, but they help. Just keeping you below that bloodthirsty rage. But, all right, I got to read this properly. Through a series of trials and errors, he learns that you need to eat living things in order to control this hunger that you feel. He says that he has a plan. He's gathered a small team of people that can help figure out what turns you into a monster. And that takes you a long time to wrap your head around because you know that monsters just ain't real. Science has taken humanity to the stars, and it is well known that all the monsters in the stories were fake. But at the same time, you saw what happened at that party, and you're something of a monster yourself. Or maybe not a monster, but at the very least, monstrous. That is the intro to X Qual Kek becoming Slump.
Yes.
Now for the last intro. The final intro is for my lovely wife, TactiWife, aka Kaylee, as most other humans in the world call her.
Hi.
All right, let me pull up your intro. All right, this is the last intro. I had kind of planned these to go about 3 hours, I'm a little bit flexible with the time if we go a little bit over, but I'm going to try to keep it to 3 hours. So we're going to finish this intro, and then I am going to rip, roar, rocket you guys through your first mystery. It's going to be a little bit unconventional for most mysteries, but we're going to get you guys doing a bit of stuff. But first, let's meet our last hunter. And Kaylee, what is your character's name?
My character's name is Lucille, or Lou Hudson.
Perfect. All right. So, we start this with, you are sitting on an upturned tin bucket in a mine shaft. The smell of damp dirt and stale air hangs heavy. A few electrolamps hang off the support beams around you, and off the beams leading back up the way you came. There are 3 doors on the right-hand side of this circular-ish room you are currently in. You are sitting at a rough wooden table, the swinging electrolamp providing a limited visibility on your party. There are 5 of you sitting down, 4 of which you are meeting for the first time, and 1 who you have been introduced to already. Tom, the only one you know, says, "All right, now, this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out." But before we hear him out, let's jump back to how we got here. So, why don't you go into a little bit of detail about Lou's past? Where did she grow up? How did she do at school? And was she always into witchcraft and fortune telling? Or was there something that made her turn to it?
Well, Lou was an anxious kid that grew up into an anxious adult. And her parents ran a B&B that they all lived at. And so that meant there were constant guests revolving through the doors. So there was an element of the unknown always to every day. And Lou, being an anxious person, was deeply uncomfortable with that. And so she started playing that favorite game of hers, What If? She would run through every scenario and say, okay, this is what's going to happen to these folks. This is what's going to happen to those. If this happens, then this is, I know, going to be the result. She started saying it aloud to her parents. And they were so amused when sometimes those, games would turn out to be truth. And they think it was her perceptive, nature that she could kind of tell how these people were going to act. But often what she would guess at would become reality.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, cool. So it's young. Do you think so your character is the spooky, which means that she has a weird connection to magic and powers. So I guess it was actually at a young age that she was already sometimes legitimately telling the fortune, right? Is that kind of like, do you think she accidentally guessed it right, or was she actually accidentally telling fortunes?
Certainly from the perspective of her family, it was accidental. She's saying enough things and she's worrying enough that the things she guesses at sometimes just by random chance are correct. But she always felt just so validated when they were right that she would guess more and more, and it would get more and more frequent, these kind of engagements. So she feels that she has a knack, truly, where the people around her, her close family and friends, think it's just accidental.
Perfect. Gotcha. Okay. So this game turned into a career as she eventually became a fortune teller. And we arrive at this scene where she is a young adult telling, basically fake fortunes. She's right sometimes, but for the most part, she is, I don't know. Do you think she's, as a young adult, does she know that she's selling largely lies, and is she okay with that? Or has she kind of convinced herself that they are true? Like, how knowledgeable is she of the falsity of these kind of fortunes?
What drew her to it in the first place was the finding out that she was right and the deep satisfaction that came with that. And so that's why she made a career out of it, was to kind of chase that feeling of certainty. What's best, though, and to make sure she always thinks she's right, She just moves around and she doesn't find out if her fortunes that she told were actually correct.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect. And so, because I remember you telling me that her shack, her fortune-telling shack, was actually like her vehicle, like her ship was her fortune-telling shack, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So she'll set that up like a airborne caravan. She'll set down in a town, and that's where she'll host her curious guests, and then just move along. And so she never really finds out if she was right or wrong.
Okay, perfect. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how does she sell her fortunes? Like, when she's telling the fortune, is it animated, and does she get up and do a dance and wave her hands, or does she just sit there very solemnly? And like, what does the shack look like on the inside? Is it minimalist, or are there a billion crystals, or like, give me a bit of a flavor for the fortune telling and the shack.
Those are tied together, I think. I think that her spaceship shack, maybe the size of like a studio apartment, is lined with shelves, mostly books, but a lot of them, especially in the front seating area, are also full of these, crystals, just tchotchkes, various magical seeming mystical items, crystals and stones and so forth. Perhaps, some kind of fossils. She's probably into bones. Probably a good skull just to talk to. So her first step when people come in is to kind of assess them. Sometimes she'll, dramatize it a little bit. Maybe it's more than she really feels sincerely. And then she'll pick specific items off her shelf, seemingly specific to these folks that have come in, and set them on her table. Usually three seems to be a good number of items, and arrange them just so, and then place her hands on the side and just kind of close her eyes and let it come to her.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so then we jump into the scene where you're in your shack, you're waiting for the next customer, and a young couple walk in. They are both wearing dusters and cowboy hats, and they remove their coats and they hang up their hats on the chairs. And they introduce themselves as Henry Connor and Katie Connor. Henry is wearing suspenders, and Katie is wearing a rough burlap hemp-style shirt, and she rolls up her sleeves. Henry is a hovercycle cattle herder. And just as a note, yes, there are real cows here. It's actually the only planet in the system with cows. And Katie works as a welder. They want to quit their jobs, but they want to know if they're going to get rich first. So Henry kind of looks at his wife and then looks at you, and he says, see, we don't like working too much. We like to be done working, but we want to know if we're going to get rich first. So, like, if we're going to get rich, we're just going to quit work and let the rich come to us. But if we ain't going to get rich, I guess we got to work some more. So, hey, we going to get rich?
You two are clearly responsible, planning adults. I really admire the fact that you're staying your impulse control and looking into these kind of decisions before just making them. It's really admirable. Let me just see here. Let's just pick some items. What speaks to me? What's going to tell me your future? And I pick 3 items off the shelf. One's a plant, and one is a large rock. It's kind of unwieldy. It's kind of like a soccer ball. I don't really know why I have it, but it seems to impress the locals. And the other is a set of books, 6 books. So really, it's 8 things. There you go.
All right. So then, essentially, you're going to try to manipulate someone into convincing them that your fortune is real. So we're going to roll I believe it's just plus charm. Yeah. Okay. You're going to roll plus charm, which you have -1 of. Old Lou ain't so charming. So you're going to roll 2d6 -1. 7, mixed success. It's funny, that's supposed to be the most common one, but we haven't got a lot of mixed successes. We haven't done a lot of rolling. Manipulate someone for 7 to 9. They'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. That's a weird one to interpret, isn't it? Okay, so they'll believe you. Okay. So, what do you tell them? Do you tell them they're going to get rich or not? You don't know. There is no actual fortune that comes to you. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to tap in and I'm running my scenarios and I'm not getting anything.
No, nothing. You have no idea.
I say, Can I stall for time in real life as well as in the game?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a great. I don't think Lou is the greatest fortune teller. I don't think it has to be the most convincing fortune ever, especially because you rolled a mixed success. They're not going to buy it, kind of regardless of what you say.
I'm gonna say Magic 8-Ball style. Possibly no. I'm gonna say richness must be defined by each individual in their own life.
That sounds like horse shit. Am I gonna get rich?
Well.
I feel like you ain't a real fortune teller. It's a yes or no question. Am I gonna get rich?
Richness? Yes. Rich? Yes. Yes.
I don't like that fortune very much there. I tell you what. You tell me what I had for dinner last night, then I'll believe what you're saying right now. You just prove to me that you're a real fortune teller and tell me a past fortune. Tell me what I had for dinner last night.
She had started to sweat up to that point, but she feels a bit better now. And she looks directly into his eyes and says, beans.
Holy shit! She's right! She's a real fortune teller. We're going to be rich as defined by the richness that is defined by what each person defines richness as. Hot ticket to damn, I'm going to go quit. And then he throws his jacket on, throws his hat on, and Katie just looks so fucking happy. She is just beaming that they're going to be rich with richness, and her faith is completely like, they had beans last night. So they are now completely sold on the fortune, and they just tear out of there. They throw a couple coins for the fee, and they just tear out of there.
Thank God, I was really worried about Katie.
Yeah, I know, she was so happy. She does not want to be a welder, so she is so happy that they get to quit their jobs and get rich. All right. So a few days go by. There's some hits, some misses, business as usual. Until one day, a very soft-spoken man comes into your tent. And he introduces himself as Thomas Whitaker. He seems to be really looking you over when he comes in. Not in like a checking you out kind of way, but like he's trying to tell whether or not you're a real witch just by looking at you. It's like, are those real torn robes, and do you have a pointy hat on, and what's that crystal ball made out of? So he's really giving you the once over, kind of deciding whether or not he's going to believe you just by walking in.
It's amethyst.
The
crystal ball is made out of amethyst, bud.
Do you say that out loud?
No, but I think it, like, with my eyes at him.
Gotcha. You know? Yeah. Okay. So then he takes down he sits down, he takes off his duster coat, takes off his hat. It's a beautiful white cowboy hat with like a brown rope thing. You know those like pieces of twine that are tied around the hat thing? You know, cowboy words. He's got one of those.
A hat rope.
A hat rope. He's got a hat rope. And then he sits down and he smiles and he looks you directly in the eyes and he says, I'm just wondering when I'm going to die. And he doesn't say that in a scary way, just a very kind of, tell me. I was just wondering when I'm going to die.
I get this question a lot, but it's usually delivered in a much different tone.
Yeah, it's his whole demeanor that's a little bit unnerving. And so he's not up for small talk. He just wants the fortune. He throws their coins on the table, and he's already paid, and he just wants an answer. And so why don't you tell me a little bit about how you do this fortune?
So he's sat down before me, ready to go,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still standing, and I'm just kind of looking at him, assessing. And without saying anything at all, I haven't said anything yet, I go and I select 3 identical crystals from my bookshelf. Just because he's so presumptuous, I kind of want to make this really real. Often I'll just
gotcha.
Often I'll just give a fortune kind of from the hip. Yeah, you're going to be rich. Now please leave.
Gotcha. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but in this case, I'd like to really show him. He thinks I'm nothing. Come on. So I set my crystals up to, in a kind of triangular shape. I take excessive dramatic care with placement.
Like it rolls out of the way and you kind of push it back a little bit kind of thing.
Like, that scene in Mr. Bean where he's taking that test and he has like 2,500,000 pencils.
Yeah.
And he's lining them up really carefully. It's like that.
Perfect.
So aligning the crystals exactly perfectly. And then I just set my palms on either side of them and close my eyes as usual.
Okay. And what do you say? Do you just like close your eyes and say, tomorrow? Or what do you say? What are some of the words you say as you're doing the fortune?
I say,
Do you just like mumble some gibberish kind of thing?
I say the spirits around you are clouded. Much more so than usual.
You get through about that
can
much. You say that much, and then you actually can't talk anymore. It's just kind of like everything's frozen. And then you realize you closed your eyes, but your eyes just like opened up, and you're staring straight at him, like directly into his eyes. But it feels kind of weird because usually when you look directly into someone's eyes for more than, 2 seconds, it feels incredibly awkward, and someone either looks away or starts smiling, or there's some sort of a thing where you both know that you've been staring into each other's eyes for a couple seconds. But he doesn't seem to have that sense at all, and you can't feel your face muscles making any movements either. You're just staring directly into his eyes. And so you try to close your eyes to stop the awkwardness, and you realize that you actually can't. You can't close your eyes, and it doesn't look like he knows that your eyes are open. Like his eyes shift a little bit, like he's studying your face, and is completely unaware that you are wide-eyed staring straight at him. And then your gaze kind of looks down at the table where his hands are, and it looks like he is melting or leaking, I guess. Like, it doesn't look like the flesh is melting off him. It looks like there's this white substance leaking out of him. It's like milk, except thicker and slower. And he seems to be completely unaware of this leaking white liquid. And then, shockingly, there is this sonar pulse of white liquid that comes out of you. And it just shoots all over the inside of your tent. The objects aren't disturbed, but this white liquid crashes all around the inside of your tent and goes shooting out the front door. And then something really spooky happens. You see ghosts. And this is really strange because at first you think they're just people who are suddenly in your shack. Like you don't know how they got there, but then they're there. But then you see them walk right through the walls which is completely crazy. Oh, thanks, Alarm. That's wonderful. Thank you. Way to not spoil.
I'm alarmed too.
Yeah.
I'm alarmed too. You're totally right, Alarm. Good call.
So the thing is you know that monsters ain't real. You've learned enough about the dark arts and witchcraft and all that to know that it's really a bunch of hogwash. Ghosts and skeletons and ghouls aren't real. But you are currently watching ghosts walk through walls, and they don't seem to notice you or Tom at all. They just pass through physical matter, including Tom. Then another strange thing is that some of these people also seem to be leaking. But they're not leaking this white milk tar oil. They're actually leaking a red substance. Same consistency, but it's red, almost like blood. But this isn't the most shocking thing. The most shocking thing is that there is another man at the table, sitting right beside Tom, with his fingers crossed, held in front of his face.
Oh, God.
Then you notice he doesn't have a face. Well, he has one, but you can't see it. There's like this fuzzy, blurred, can't make out what his face is, except for one thing, a very large, very open, staring eyeball in the middle of his forehead, and it's looking straight at you. And it is oozing this red oil all over his blurred face. But the eye is unblinkingly staring straight at you as it continues to ooze this red oil. Then he speaks. And his voice is sort of like a man, but it's a little bit fuzzy, and it cracks like fire. Sometimes the volume of his voice pops and fizzles, but there's always this low roar. And he says, "I've been watching you for some time. Can you hear me? It seems like you can finally hear me. I've tried talking to you before, but now I see your eyes open. I think you can hear me now. You and I are very special. It is a unique gift to be able to see like we see. You have a third eye, which is open right now. You can see into my world, and I can see into yours. But I'm not sure what the worlds are. I can only assume that you are ghosts of my world. But I guess it's just as likely that we are ghosts of yours. It's hard to tell. Really, I can't see any of your faces to be able to recognize anyone that may have died here. Now, I can't explain everything, but I have been watching for a while. And now that you can see me, perhaps someday you'll be able to talk to me. If you ever need some help or some information, give me a call, just like this. Open your eye, and we can chat, or at least I can talk to you. I'll tell you what. If you find out any information about what this is, if you are ghosts, or if we're ghosts, and what this power is that I will admit I have a little bit more control over than you, let me know. I'll do the same for you. If you really want, I may be able to affect your world in some way. This white substance that seems to leak from you ghosts is something I seem to be able to affect in some ways. It doesn't seem to affect my world, but I can touch it and manipulate it. Now, I wouldn't offer this to just anyone, but you're the only person that I've seen open up their third eye. Most people don't even have one. But I just knew your eye would open. And then just like that, the world goes dark. It just vanishes. And you realize it's because your eyes are closed. You've been sitting there silent for like 2 minutes of awkward silence with your eyes shut. How do you want to resolve this? Tom said, "When will I die?" And you got through half a sentence and then stopped and sat there in silence for 2 minutes.
Holy shit.
Whoa. Do you
well,
know when I'll die?
No.
Huh. That's a pretty honest answer. You know what? you can keep the coins. That's actually a pretty legitimate prediction. I think I know what just happened. And I can explain it a bit because it seems like it's shaken you somewhat. Let's talk in a secure location. I have a place where we can talk about this because I think something important is meant to happen, and I think you're meant to have a hand in it. Why don't you come by my place? And he slides a card with an address on it that leads you to this secure mineshaft bunker that we've seen, 3 or 4 separate times now. And then he puts on his hat and he puts on his coat and he flashes you a really genuine smile. Like he really cares. He's happy he's met you and he actually cares about you. He gives you a little smile and he tips his cap and then he walks out. And this leaves you alone in your shack where what just happened was really quite scary. You were shocked, but you didn't feel scared. But at the very least, it was definitely spooky. That is the introduction of all the characters. That is how you all arrived at the bottom of this mine shaft that I explained 4 separate times. Where you're sitting.
I actually don't remember. Could you do it one more time?
You sit. The stale air hangs heavy.
5 doors.
Are there any lamps? I feel like there's no lamp.
3 doors, 14 doors on the left, 2 on the right.
Oh my God,
There's 3
guys!
doors down.
The guy that we all know, his name is Bill. I think.
What?
It was
No,
Bill.
that was your intro.
Oh right.
So, legitimately, you're in a circular-ish room. Has 3 doors on the right-hand side. You're sitting at a table. If you haven't put it together yet, Tom is the one you know, and the other 4 are the you guys.
Holy!
Oh, dang!
Get the out of here.
All right. So now we can get into the first mystery. To hit the 3-hour mark, I have to get you guys through it in about 50 minutes. So we're going to take some shortcuts. We're going to take some liberties. We're going to resolve things in a big hurry. And we're just going to fucking plow right through this. Got to get my intro up. All right, so Tom says, in the beginning of time, 3 millennia ago, the very first order was made. No, we're not going to go into all that. Tom says, fuck, I actually didn't write down what his intro line was every 4 times. You guys are not going to believe me. This is going to sound crazy, but you got to believe me. Something like that. He says...
Now I know that sounds crazy, but...
Yeah, now I know this sounds crazy, but I think you've all been through some extraordinary, extreme circumstances. And I think I can help understand what happened to you all. He says, Lou, or he just kind of like gestures. He's like, this is Lou Hudson, known as Loopy Lou to the people whose fortunes never come true. I
started nodding and then I said, "Hey, though."
This is Jake Marshal, who watched the love of his life dissolve in front of his eyes. This is Galdric Stout, who is he's a god, and this is Slump.
Hi.
He's Slump.
The Nokia phone turn on noise plays as I pull it from my pocket.
And he says, you've all been touched by this phenomenon that's been honestly becoming out of hand. This has been a thing that's been going on for a long time in many places that humanity has touched. And I can't go into all the details. There are a lot of moving pieces here. And I can't explain everything for a couple of reasons. Firstly, your head would probably explode if you learned everything all at once. Secondly, it's probably easier for you to see a bit before I start explaining. And thirdly, if there were a magical and mystical third party listening and watching, it would be very boring to hear a full hour of expository. So I will tell you this. The local sheriff is in on this a little. He knows that there are weird goings on. He knows that there are groups vying for political power, and he is not a man who cares much about the shitty details, as he says, and is more interested in results. And he knows that I can get results, and I have been for up until now. But lately it's been getting out of hand, and I think because of what you people have experienced, you can help me get this under control. I will stay here in the bunker, and I am going to continue research. Things have been changing, and I have been making notes and consulting with my associates, and we will continue to develop our research here. But to be totally honest, I can't help you with information on what you will fight out there, because that's why I need you. I am not a fighter. I am a learner. I am a builder. I am a researcher. I am not a fighter. And more, we need fighters. We need hunters. We need people who can deal with the very real things that are happening. And yes, it's magic. Okay, it's magic. I know. It seems fucking crazy. Most people, vast majority of people have never seen magic, but it is real magic. Trust me, that is the explanation to every single one of your, situations is magic. And it gets more detailed than that, but just understand that it's just fucking magic right now, okay? So to move things along rather quickly for no real reason, I need you to go talk to the sheriff, because apparently he's got a new job and I just can't handle the wet work. I can't do the fighting. I've gone out once or twice. I broke my leg. I got a bloody nose. I skinned my knee, and I'm done. I can't do the hunting. So I need you guys to go meet the sheriff, find out what this new thing is, do a little reconnaissance, and then come back to me. We can formulate a plan on what to do after you get the reconnaissance. But I swear to God, if I skin my knee again, I quit.
When he says "swear to God," I get a little upset. Like,
sorry. I'll get better. I promise. So he describes to you the location of the sheriff's office, and you guys are assembled in the lowest level of this mine shaft. And you have been told to go talk to the sheriff to basically start learning about this thing, and he's going to help explain it as you experience it. What would you guys like to do? Where would you like to go?
Just a quick question. So what does he look like?
Well, Thomas Whitaker, he is a thin person. He's not freakishly thin, but there's not much muscle on this dude. He's maybe in his early 30s, late 20s. He's got quite blonde hair. He's got a little pointy goatee, a very fine little mustache, and light blonde hair. He wears a white duster coat and a white cowboy hat with the hat rope on it. And he's got a very genuine smile. His eyes are a little bit weird. They're kind of like gray. But he's got a very genuine smile. He's missing one tooth. It's a gold tooth. And that's about it. He's got a mustache and a little pointy goatee.
And basically what he's offering is to help us understand why we've all been brought together and what the evil is in the world.
He's saying, you got turned into a monster. Lou saw the devil. Jake had his life, his life's love dissolve in front of his eyes, and God has literally sent an angel.
Hi, I'm fine.
And he says he can explain what's going on.
Okay.
but it involves wet work on your end. You need to see and experience some of this, and he'll explain it as you come to experience it, and he will help you kind of understand and possibly remedy what has happened to some of you guys.
Okay.
I already know what happened. I watched a movie.
Did you get it though? Did you really get it?
Yeah.
Slump looks at Galdric and says, "Slump like movie."
We could watch a movie together sometime. I like you.
Yay, movie, brave little toaster.
So, just a sec, Slump looks like that monster all the time. It's not like a form change.
It gets more exaggerated when it's cold,
Oh, yikes.
but he looks pretty fucking rough all the time. So yeah.
As Slump has like his whole world was so turned upside down by his transformation, he doesn't really have much of an opinion on like he doesn't seem that particular. He's just happy around to be around people that are talking, and doesn't really have too strong of an opinion on doing it because he doesn't really understand. He doesn't really grasp. He's sort of his connection to who he was. He'll probably discover more along the way, but as it stands, he sort of has a very frail connection to his past.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
So, is Galdric, are you a pretty big, like, physical specimen? Are
He's
you pretty
tiny.
imposing?
It's itty bitty. Tic Tac size.
Sorry, I'm standing at the back of my room. I'm stout. I'm pretty stout. Pretty stocky in build, but with the perfect suit that I have, I'm a kind of a it looks sharp. I look like a miniature MMA fighter, but very clean. Like I'm not. It's clear that I'm not a brawler. You know what I mean? But I am very like, hi. I'm always smiling.
All right, then I guess in that case, Jake will sort of look around the room, the green of the Nokia phone sort of glowing up in his face. Look at Stout, look at Galdric, and then look at Lou. So I got room for one, but not y'all big folks. So what's Loopy? You all right?
Yeah, it's Lou, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it, Lou. And I've got a deja vu like racing baseball cap on. I'll just turn around backwards and put my phone away and start walking out. And as I'm going out, I'll just holler to Tom, be like, just sheriff's office, normal. That's where he is.
Yeah, he's just at the sheriff's office. I think tell him that Tom sent you. He usually doesn't have time for just random people. So please do mention that it's Tom, unless you want to deal with an angry sheriff.
All right, off like a herd of turtles then.
All right, so you guys.
I look at Slump and I'm like, hey, yeah, I guess they're going. You wanna share a ride? He says you got room for one. We gotta get a taxi or some shit. I don't know.
Slump hasn't even processed anything Galdric has said because he's completely transfixed by his weirdly observant eyes, and puts his massive hand the size of 2 lunchboxes side by side up to his face, realizing that he can't just put his fingers into Galdric's eyes, but somehow thinks that by putting his hand on his face, he can understand his eyes and goes,
Mr. Man has nice eyes.
This is gonna be fun. But come on. I grab him. I grab like just his thumb, and I'm like, come on, let's go.
Slump. It's I would say you know what, you're just, that would be unnerving. You could technically have a Galdric on your shoulders.
Say it.
And
yes!
oh yes.
I'm fighting with a tiny
And you could run probably almost as fast as a vehicle.
Yep.
I want to say though,
Yep.
that you're going to be a monstrous human being with a small god on your shoulders running through the streets.
Yep. Slump looks at Galdric and say, "What man mean? What man say? Tacky. Take a tacky."
We have to go to the sheriff.
Car ride.
Yes. We're gonna go on a car ride.
Are we are we in the street at this point? Like, we sort of made our way up to the street?
Yeah, you kind of make your way up the mine shaft. There's a series of doors and hallways, very nondescript. There's not a lot of decoration here. You make your way out. It's a short walk to kind of a nearby street. This literally looks just like a mine shaft. It's not supposed to be a building. It's kind of a hidden bunker in an abandoned mine shaft. So when you come out of the mine shaft, there is like the outskirts of town are easily within walking distance, and you could pick up a taxi there if you wanted.
Okay. Once we get aside, Slump sort of looks at the cars that are going by and looks down at himself and looks back up at the cars and looks down at himself and looks at Galdric and looks back at the cars and looks at himself, and then without saying anything, just picks up Galdric, puts him on his shoulders and says, "You say where, Mr. Man?"
Oh God, it's been a long time since I've done this. And I kind of like put my hand on the top of Slump's head, and I like just turn like almost like it's a compass that way.
And Slump I just take off like slow walk into a jog so that Galdric has the time to get used to the momentum. I just full out into dead sprint as fast as I can immediately.
Perfect.
Yay!
All right, perfect. And then I guess Jake and Lou, you guys are have your own means of transportation, I take it?
Yeah, as we're coming up the mine shaft, I figure you're probably a little bit ahead of Galdric and Slump. I would ask Lou, "Hey, y'all ever had a horse before?"
Oh, I love horses to ride one, but I was always too nervous. They're very large.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, they can get big. Different breeds, different strokes, what you have. And as we sort of come around to wherever I park the hover cycle, I'm just gonna throw her a helmet. All right, hop on.
It bounces off my nose, but then I catch it after that.
Okay. And the way I like seeing this happen is like we get on the hover cycle and I open it up to sort of like try to impress Lou because I've just met her, and that's when I see like Galdric and Slump just rocket by.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear it before you see it. You hear whoomp 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 whoomp, and a small man just screaming as exactly as they just go fucking tearing by you.
All right, so I'll just say, "All right, girl, if the creek don't rise, hold on tight." And I'll sort of ash catch in my hat, and we will just rip this bitch, and I'll try and get my hover cycle to catch up with Slump.
All right, yeah, I would say you guys can probably go. Hey, where did my music go?
Oh yeah, the music monster.
It went offline.
Lou feels positively about the hover bike.
Yeah, it's not clean and shiny. It's kind of like a cobbled together piece of mess, but the ride's comfortable. It's not absurdly loud. It doesn't have like the same bump that most hover cycles have. He's pretty proud of it.
Galdric is weirdly enjoying the ride.
Yeah. While our keeper fixes the music, I'll shout like over the wind back to Lou. Just be like, "Man, that Slump boy's about an inch taller. He'd be round."
Oh, you're almost as observant as me. Hey, yeah, out of character. Slump's not naked anymore, right? Like he's wearing
No,
clothes.
Slump has clothes now.
Yeah, Tom.
Oh, I'm
Tom
glad
Piper.
we
That's great
answered
news,
that one
everybody.
now.
Yeah.
So is he kind of like midway between like Hulk and Banner? Like he's sort of yoked up Banner with like ripped clothes on, or is he just a really big dude?
Is he Brock Lesnar? Is he Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar is probably a good kind of place to start, but it's more like imagine you left your Hulk figurine in the sun for too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not like the perfectly chiseled GI Joe. Like some things are just out of proportion. Like his torso's fucking huge. His head is kind of small. His hands are the size of fucking crane claws. But he's so fucking tall. He's kind of like the without the skin coloration, while looking mostly like a normal human. He's kind of like the fucking troll in Harry Potter in the first movie, the one that's in the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, this huge goofy looking dude.
Yeah.
Keeping you under wraps is gonna be a fucking chore.
Yeah. I thought this would be interesting because he does stand out. There are no aliens, there are no monsters, people are all normal people, and even as far as weird looking people go, Slump is a little bit out there. So yeah, Fred Boat is dead. So I did upload the music to Discord. If you want to hit play to listen to it yourself, you can do that. I've just got to.
I got you. Got you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. So I had a whole thing planned for on the way to the sheriff's office, but you know what? I'm just going to save that for later because you need to get to the sheriff's office. There was some description of the street.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you very much. There's some description of the street. So, you know, in like every anime ever and in like Blade Runner and all that other shit, there's always like that open noodle bar kind of street food thing.
Yes, love it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's one of those just because there has to be. Let's see. There's also a bar where there's some shit happening in there, but you do not have time to deal with it. So you are not dealing with the ruckus in the bar. You'll deal with that next time. Most of the buildings are made out of a kind of wood/metal composite. And, oh my God. It is a little on the loud side. Just let me turn you down just a touch.
Oh, I could change that on mine real quick.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
There's just a lot of, it goes very, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Low,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. And so most of the buildings are made out of this kind of wood metal composite where it looks like wood, but it's harder than wood. And they all have some degree of graffiti on them. There's just like this is the Wild West, man, with people who have fucking laser pistols and shit. So it's more and less civilized than the Wild West. Until you come to the sheriff's office, which you can tell immediately that it is the sheriff's office because it is the one and only building with zero graffiti on it. It is fucking pristine. It is pressure washed daily. It is swept daily. This building is fucking immaculate. And above the sliding glass doors, there is a giant riveted steel word that just says law.
Okay.
All right.
This is the sheriff's office.
I think this is it.
Mr.
Slow
Man
down.
wanna go get noodle?
Yeah, I could go for some noodles. Let's go get some noodles. Yeah, we gotta wait for the other ones to catch up.
Oh, okay.
You have some noodles and they're very tasty, and then the other people catch up and you're all at the sheriff's office now.
Okay.
Wow.
We don't have time. We don't have time.
Okay. Okay.
Those are really good noodles. I'm glad we tipped the guy a lot of money. That was an interesting conversation we just had. Okay, let's go to the sheriff's office now.
I feel like I've
Okay.
learned more about myself. All right. You guys are all at the sheriff's office. And oh boy. Where's my discuss? Oh, there we go. Okay, there it is. It's laid out weird. The person at the front desk is kind of a nervous, anxious, fidgety guy. He wears a nice white shirt with a blue tie and a gray trooper hat that's maybe just slightly too big for his head. He kind of has to push it up every now and then. He's kind of a piddly looking guy. And as soon as you walk in, I'm going to assume, just because we don't have time to go over the details of how exactly you're disguising Slump, let's say you've just done something that he looks like a really big dude.
Sure.
So he's hidden enough that you get looks from everybody, but
This guy's in like a car and leave him in the fucking parking lot.
it's enough that he gets looks from everybody. But I don't know. You have some kind of an excuse. Oh, you got too close to the microwave one day. Whoops.
Okay.
and it's enough that people are put off, but not actively calling the police. So you come in. And this nervous gentleman looks at you, takes a double look at Slump, and then looks at the rest of you, and says, "Yes, hello. My name is Harold Kirby. How can I help you? Have you done a crime, or did you gone had a crime did to you?"
Slump eats his stapler.
Oh my God. Oh, sir, wait, no, sir, I need that.
That's ours now. Don't worry about that.
Okay,
we
sir.
need to-
That is technically.
I'll pay for it. I'll
Okay.
pay for it. I'm so sorry about that. Is the sheriff around?
I'm just. The money doesn't help me staple my papers. I do actually need a stapler. The money doesn't help that much. I would actually use the stapler. It's not just the monetary worth. I need a stapler, sir.
Slump looks at him and looks in his hand and realizes what he's done, and then goes "Bleh," and like spits up a half-chewed stapler and goes sorry and puts it on the table.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yep. There you
Thank
go.
you.
We wanted it back. We tried that. Okay.
That's true. No, okay. Thank you. You want to see the
Got a
sheriff?
brand new one. Aye.
Did you make an appointment, or am I just gonna call him in?
Just call him in. Tell him we're from Tom.
Oh, from Tom. That sounds. The sheriff is
It's
usually.
about a deck we're building for his new house. Don't worry about it.
I really don't think the sheriff's going to be happy to talk about a person's deck. The sheriff's a very busy man.
A deck, like a porch, you buffoon.
Okay, well, all right, I'll call him. And he pops open a hack jack, which is a funny piece of technology I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys about yet. I will describe it in another episode because we are at light speed. He kind of takes out a little pen-sized cylinder thing, slaps it on the desk. A screen pops up, presses a couple buttons, and he says, "Hello, Sheriff. There's a couple gentlemen here to meet you about a deck. I don't really know what it's about."
We're
What?
from Tom.
They say they're
I
from.
just shout Tom.
They say, oh my God! They say they're from Tom. They're from Tom. Okay, yes, he'll be right. He'll be right out.
A scratch behind Slump's ear.
Slump starts kicking one of his tree trunk sized legs. Crouches
No, sir.
with his foot.
Sir, please, I just cleaned the floors. You're breaking the floor, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm messed my bad.
The back door opens up, and in walks the most composed human being you have ever seen. The connected goatee and mustache is pristinely trimmed, wearing a blue button-up shirt with a black tie, mirror aviators, and a black sheriff's hat with a 5-point silver star and a skull on it. His steps are measured and methodical, the tap of every booted footfall preceded by a menacingly soft jingle of spurs. He does not look happy. What do you goofy-ass motherfuckers want?
Hi,
Slump just says,
my name is Galdric.
You say you making a deck, you motherfuckers?
Oh, that's not very nice. We're from Tom Whitaker. He sent us.
I thought Tom was a more respectable human being than sending 4 goofy-ass fucking clowns to my office to talk about a deck.
Do you know what this is about?
I thought I knew, and then I heard that it's about a deck. Are you here to talk? Are you here to hear about the fucking shitty-ass monster that's been sucking all the electricity out of the city, or are you here to talk about a deck?
With my smite, can I do any sort of like cosmetic flare? Like with my hand, like some sort of like just divine light, like shows that like I'm not here to fuck around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, your smite kind of empowers you against evil, and you can kind of let that show through a legitimate holy aura coming out of the hand.
I want to do that and make it very obvious. Just kind of like just show it off for half a second, like in an intimidating fashion.
You must be a real hit at all the raves there, Glow Man. Now listen. Listen. I have been working with Tom for far too long. I am not a big fan of that man. But he helps me keep the city safe. So, if he says that you're the one for me to talk to, I'm going to tell you one thing and one thing only. I make all the rules. I am the law. Right now, we have got a couple of monsters. Hey, do not talk while I am talking. I will tell you when it's your turn to talk. Motherfuckers, listen. There are monsters out there fucking with my city. And trust me, I tried my way. Namely, I would shoot the fuck out of them until they were dead. Turns out, doesn't always work. This weirdo Tom has a way of making sure they stay dead. Now, I can only assume that you guys do too. Out at Dead Man's Cave, there has been some sort of a lightning electric piece of shit monster that I have shot and killed, and it just keeps coming back. I want you guys to head out to Dead Man's Cave and kill that piece of shit. From now on, you will not be dealing with me directly. You will be dealing with Trooper Harold Kirby. If I ever hear from you guys again, it had better be a life or death situation. Am I clear?
I just have one question.
Yeah.
What is the question?
Tom said you made the world's greatest chili. Could we get a bowl?
Absolutely not. Get the fuck out of my office.
All right, I'm going to steal that recipe. I don't care what he says. Let's get out of here.
So as we leave, I want to like look at his receptionist, like desk guy. Could that dude have totally heard him screaming about monsters?
Absolutely.
So I'll just kind of give him like the Jim from The Office flat smile and nod as we walk out.
He just like, you guys are still in the lobby, and the sheriff literally just turns and leaves. He just fucking walks out the back door. And Harold Kirby says, "Well, I told you, he doesn't. You need an appointment to talk with the sheriff, okay? Just please. He's such a terrifying human being. When you agitate him, please next time, just make an appointment."
Don't.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't worry about that. That's just called sexual frustration. He'll get over that. That's fine.
Okay, well, whatever you say, just please, just appointments. It's not so hard.
Do you have his phone number, by the way? Just in case.
I don't know how to answer that because I do, but I feel like you're gonna make me give it to you. Please don't ask for his phone number. He would be so mad if I gave his phone number out. Can I just...
All right, I'll get it next time.
Okay, all right. Can I just give you your guys' mission, please?
Yeah, come on. We're waiting.
Okay, so like he was saying, there's like a thing out at Dead Man's Cave.
Cast,
yeah. Can you please? Yeah, you gotta go there. And I think it's like it's messing with the electricity. I'm not a big fan of the sheriff's cursing, but it's mucking with our electricity something fierce. If you could just go there and do whatever it is that Tom does to make it not do that anymore, could you go do that?
Do you know anything about what Tom does to make it not do that thing?
I really don't. He's a weird fellow. He really unsettles me with that smile. And the sheriff doesn't like him at all.
Slump looks at Harold and looks down at the table at the half-eaten stapler and says,
You going to finish that?
No, you can eat it. I need a new stapler.
Slump just swallows it in one.
Who's a good slump?
Slump is.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
He looks sick.
No, he's fine. He's just has an iron deficiency. That's why he needed to eat your staple.
Oh. I have a power bar. Do you want my power bar? I was saving it for my 3 o'clock
Don't say
snack.
power bar around him.
Power bar.
Okay.
I don't. Okay. You look like you could use 2 here. 2 power bars.
As he's holding them out, Slump just puts his entire arm in his mouth. Not like biting down, but he's so desperate to get the power bars just up to the elbow into Slump's mouth.
Oh no, that's so gross. There's
I've
so much saliva.
just let it happen.
Oh God. Okay, well, the sheriff actually, I mean, he told Tom this, so I can only assume I can tell you. The sheriff has military connections, and he's been providing military gear to Tom in payment for some of these things. So if you guys do it, you can come back and maybe sheriff will give you something good, or maybe he'll tell me to give you something good. But maybe you should come back after you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like goodies.
Okay. Bye. Bye. You can go now. Bye.
All right,
Thank
let go of his
you.
arm, Slump. Slump, let go of his arm.
Slump like power bar.
You've already eaten the power.
I don't have any more
Okay.
power bars. You ate today's and tomorrow's power bar.
Slump turned Mr. Man into numbnut.
No, please don't eat me. The sheriff would be so angry if I got eaten.
I put my head on
Okay.
Slump's head and I just start turning it this way.
Okay.
On our way out, I give Kirby one of my mini scarves so he can wipe off his arm.
Thank you. This is disgusting. And he just starts wiping disgusting, copious, thick ropes of fucking saliva off his arm.
Yeah, that's yours. You can keep that.
Thank you. I think I'm gonna throw it in the garbage. All right. So he told you where Dead Man's Cave was, because we now have 18 minutes to finish, so you know exactly where Dead Man's Cave is.
Sweet Christmas.
And you guys head there on your hover cycle and slump a cycle, and okay, we're gonna do some dice rolls. Let's do some actual dice rolls. Fuck it, this is a tabletop RPG. Let's do at least a couple more dice rolls.
I'm getting a little competitive after Slump smoked me the first time,
Yeah.
so let's try and get there before he does.
Okay. No, we can. Yeah. Let's
And
roll for this one.
What would be the equivalent on like a hover bike of putting a stick in the spoke?
Oh, that's a good one.
No,
That's a good
we
one.
will both
Would it be like
die.
bumping one of the thrusters or something?
I guess. I mean, technically, I guess like a stone in the intake jet on the front.
Okay.
That would do it.
Yep. Oh,
Okay.
Slump
So
wants
you
to do
want to
that.
try to do that? Okay.
So there's 2 lateral controls at the back. You could probably stick something in one of those. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess that would be more like it, just so that
Yep.
it just flops over rather than explodes it. Okay. Damn, I don't know what the role for this would be. We've got manipulate someone, act under pressure, help out, investigate a mystery, read a bad situation, kick some ass, protect someone, and use magic. I mean, as boring as it sounds, this sounds like act under pressure. Like you want to stick the thing in there without
I
being
agree.
seen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So you are going to roll to act under pressure, which is plus cool. Right? You don't have anything? Yeah. Okay, so roll plus cool, which for you is -1. So 2d6 -1.
You got it. Oh.
That's
Oh boy, that's a 6. So that is not good.
Okay.
So that is. Wait. The fails have been. Wow. Both are you, Milton. So mark two
Excellent.
experience. You've got two. You're almost halfway to a level up already.
Nice.
So that's another fail. And on the rule book, act under pressure. On a miss, things go to hell. So I'm going to say you kind of pick up a stick to jam in the like the little prop on the back that helps guide it.
Yep.
And you try sticking it in there, but the stick is too big.
Okay.
So you go to break it. Like you picked up a stick that's way too big. It's like a fucking tree. You way misgauged the size of this. Yeah. So you go to break it in half so that it'll fit in there a bit better to wedge it. And you're not really paying attention. Maybe Galdric kind of gives you a scritch behind the ear when you weren't expecting it, and you end up jamming the stick into your eye.
Oh my God! What did you do?
Slump trying to play a joke.
No, that's okay. I like grab onto the front of the stick and I like pull it out. I'm like, no, stop that! Stop! I like bonk him on the head. No.
Slump like stick. Want to play stick on man go-go dog.
No, that's not a go. Okay, that way. And I like hold the stick out in front like it's a carrot on a stick, but it's just a stick.
It's a stick on a stick.
Slump goes from like vaguely crying like a toddler about his eye to immediately with a huge smile on his face going, okay, and just starts running.
All right, cool. And so now what we're gonna do is we are gonna get you guys essentially on the outskirts of Dead Man's Cave, which looks like a giant skull. It's the most fantasy storybook video game fucking Dead Man's Cave you've ever seen. It's basically a giant stone skull on the outside of town, and right next to it is the like electrical generation facility, or like electrical storage facility. You know those places where it's a bunch of fencing and then just a shit ton of capacitors and generators kind of thing?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's one of those sitting right next to the cave because, hey, why the fuck not?
Okay.
And so what you're going to do, and I apologize for when this doesn't go well because I don't have the rules memorized well enough. You guys are going to roll to investigate a mystery. Only one person can do it. Let's maybe... hey, Jake Marshall, are you here?
Sure am, boss.
Okay, awesome. Since you're the expert, we're going to have you roll to investigate a mystery, which is plus sharp, I believe. Let's take a look. The expert. Yes, that's right. Well, you get another +1. So 7 plus another +1, so it's an 8. So it's a mixed success. Investigate a mystery. On a 7 to 9, you get to ask one of the following questions. So you can ask, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
Okay, and we've already been told the creature is just in this cave.
Yeah, you've been told. I'm going to post it in Discord, the list of questions.
I was just trying to get through it to make sure I don't repeat one we already know.
Yeah, totally. So there's the list of
an
questions.
Electrical monster.
Yeah, they let on a couple
electricity.
things.
We know that.
Yeah.
What happened here? It's eating fucking electricity, sort of creature. What can it do? What can hurt it?
Where'd you post that thing at?
It's in general of our D&D Discord.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with what can hurt it.
Okay.
So it was eating stuff out of the like grid.
Yeah, they were saying it
consuming
was.
it somehow?
Yeah, it was like eating the electricity kind of thing.
All right, so I guess I'll look around the fence to see if there's any evidence of it getting in, busting in, see if there's any like blood anywhere where it may have like ripped through the fence, see if anything can hurt it. Does it bleed?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, cool. So I will say, with what can hurt it, you guys are kind of standing in some bushes away from this giant skull cave when you see something small moving at the mouth of the cave. There's no perception check, so I'm just going to tell you what you see. As if you all rolled natural 20s on your perception check. Actually, no, wait. Galdric, with his perceptive eyes, which are now mechanically relevant. Galdric, from his crow's nest perch atop Slump, with his perceptive eyes. Everyone sees something moving, but you have a bit of a better look at it. It looks like a monkey. It's like a weird... I mean, not weird. It looks like a fucking normal-ass monkey. Kind of slowly creeping out of the mouth of the cave. And there's a bunch of hanging lanterns around the generators to show that the electricity is being generated. And this monkey starts to crawl out of the cave, and it puts its hand up in front of its face like it's blocking the light coming from the lamps. And then it starts picking up rocks and throwing the rocks at the lamps and knocking them out. After it knocks out all the lamps, you see it crawl over under the fencing to the generators, where you see it grab the generators, and all of a sudden, it starts to grow real big, real fast. It goes from a normal-sized monkey to a full-sized gorilla size to something maybe 10 times the size of a gorilla. And it starts crackling with lightning. And then on its way out, it just steps over the fence. The fence is maybe 10 feet tall, and it just steps over the fence and walks back into the cave of Dead Man's Cave.
It's a Super Saiyan.
Slump sort of looks up at Galdric and says, "Ha ha! Hey, Mr. Man, you see the zappy banana dog?"
Zappy banana. Yeah, I saw it.
Zappy banana dog.
Slump want it. Slump want a pet.
Slump want what?
Slump want to pet the zappy banana dog.
Not yet. Maybe soon.
Okay.
So I will say, to give you an explicit answer to that question, you got the sense that the light was super not good. It did not like the light whatsoever. You also got a sense, just because we're at the 8-minute mark, you got a sense that when it was small, it was not particularly hearty. It could have been smooshed pretty easily. But once it was super mega fucking lightning ape, when it walked into the cave, its shoulder brushed against the edge of the cave, and it literally just pushed through the stone. You get the feeling that in super mega ape form, this thing is basically invincible.
All right, so I'm like, after I saw it start to grow, I was laying in the fucking grass. Like, that thing is terrifyingly huge, and you would just see the green glow of that Nokia phone on my face as I'm taking notes on this thing.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to note the time that it fed.
Okay, yeah. It was about 10 p.m. So the sun had gone down. It was pretty dark out, and it was about 10 p.m. that it fed. And so now, you guys can. Let me see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Blah blah blah. Monster is a scary-looking monkey-sized monkey. And when it charges up, it's 2 stories tall, a bit weak to light, and then okay. So basically, at this point, you guys can chase it into the cave or go back to Tom, as he suggested. Do some reconnaissance and then come back to me. Or you can go into the cave and do some more reconnaissance. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you fight Super Godzilla, King Kong, Electric Monkey, straight up without a plan, it will just kill you all and we will have to start all over again. And this is not a fight you win without some preparation. Trust me. Preparation's going to be light because obviously we're short on time. But if you run in there right now and try to fight it, I see a Slump Lou Jake Galdric pancake in the future.
Nope, I'm already walking back down the hill to the bike.
Yeah, okay. You guys want to follow, and I assume you're going back to Tom?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Slump
I follow
hasn't
big
said
time.
anything. Slump hasn't said anything. He's just staring at the cave.
The monkey's not in sight anymore, right?
No, yeah, I went back into the cave.
Hey, Mr. Man, where'd the banana dog go?
He's taking a nap. We shouldn't wake him right now.
Oh. But Slump wanna pet the monkey dog, the banana dog.
Do you like it when people wake you up?
No, Slump hate that.
So should we wake him up? But I've already talked to him, and he's gonna want to play tomorrow.
Slump wanna play now.
I know, but it'll be okay. We'll play tomorrow. You and I can play today.
Ha! Yay! Okay.
I turned his head around that way.
Yay!
Slump just starts running.
Okay.
Jesus fucking! I meant to walk.
Okay, you know what? Actually, just for flavor, I know we're short on time, but I want to do this. I want Galdric, you're going to roll to help out. You're going to help yourself out to not get flung off Slump when he just takes off at Mach speed. So, help out is rolling plus cool, unless you have something to change it. Nope. Nope, you're going to roll plus cool, which for you is +1. So 2d6 plus 1. 8. Mixed success. Help out, help out, help out, help out, help out. Or wait, was that protect someone or help out? It was help out. Where's that one? Help out. On a mixed success, you grant help to them, but you also expose yourself to trouble or danger. So I'm going to say that as Slump fucking takes off, you do manage to grab a hold and stay held on, but you eat a couple tree branches to the face on your way through the forest.
That's no.
Mr. Crazy Eye, so funny.
All right. We are at the very end right here. So you go to Tom and you tell him, little monkey, suck up electricity, become big monkey, no like light. And he tells you, I will craft a sealing nail. This is a piece of kind of magic / technology that is the only way to make sure these things stay dead. The sheriff has tried shooting them to death, and it works limitedly. They generally come back to life, but if you drive the sealing nail into them after they're dead, it makes sure that they cannot be brought back to life. This is the only way to kill magic things for good. You need a sealing nail, and it needs to be built specifically for the type of magic that you're seeing. So he spins in the flash of a fucking bat of an eyelid. He just and there you go. It's like looks like a monster's tooth with carved etchings on it that he kind of studied very carefully to make sure that they were anti-electric sealing runes on the nail. He hands this to you and he says, go kill the thing. Make sure to use light and kill it when it's small, because if you fight it when it's big, it's going to kill you. And he hands you the sealing nail and he says, go and do it.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys can wait until the next day to try to get it before it feeds. You can go now and see if you can get it after it's fed. Kind of up to you. There is a way to beat it regardless of which way you choose. You can go now or go tomorrow, and there is a way to beat it regardless.
Well, fellas, we know when it feeds and when it's small, so maybe we should just go back when we know it's going to be small again.
I think that would be the wisest choice. Yeah.
Slump think it rude to wake up Mr. Zappy Banana Dog. Right, Mr. Man?
And looks at Galdric.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's really good, Slump.
Yay.
Okay, so you guys are gonna wait until tomorrow and try to get there before it feeds, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
So, for the sake of brevity, you get there just as you see it finishing feeding, and it goes back into the cave.
God damn it!
Slump looks at the ceiling. Slump is carrying the ceiling nail, and you can see him sort of. Galdric can see him sort of looking at it and slowly licking his lips.
No, no,
Num num.
no. Okay, I was afraid of this. Hold on, and I get out a stick and I start putting the stick in your mouth.
So you get the feeling because a divine presence is telling you that you're going to have to face this thing when it's fully fed.
When it's fully charged.
Yeah, it seems like you're not going to be able to time it properly to get it just before it feeds. You're always going to mistime it.
Okay.
Well, shit. Anyone got any ideas?
Go give Banana Zappy Dog a pet. Pat. Give him Patty. Patty cake.
Yeah. Lou?
Well, let me consult the spirits.
Hey, actually, no, that totally works.
It's not too late?
No, you can totally do premonitions.
Yeah!
All right, so roll plus weird, which for you is +2. 2d6 plus 2. Oh, no.
Ruh-roh.
Okay, so you immediately try to tell the future of what's going to happen when you go in there. And you get this clear vision of Galdric astride Slump, Jake kind of very calculatingly looking at the walls and the tracks, and you following behind, making sure to keep an eye out straight ahead. You get in there, and you just take the first bend around the mouth of inside of the Dead Man's Cave, Skull Cave, and this giant fucking electric god monkey comes screaming around the corner and slaps Galdric into pixie dust. He just explodes into fucking golden dust. Then he grabs Jake and literally pulls him in half. He punches you, and you're just immediately, every bone in your body is broken. Blood explodes out of every orifice of your body, and you're thrown against the back wall. Then it goes to squish Slump, and it brings down a hammer fist, and Slump puts his arms up and holds him back. And it's like this titanic effort of this monstrous human holding back this literally building-sized fist. And then the monkey just eats him in one big bite. And chews him up, and you hear the grinding of the bones and the popping of the everything, and just viscera comes dripping out his fucking mouth. And that is the vision that you have.
Have a look.
Look, I think we need to do a little more planning before we head into the fight.
What did you? You look like you just saw a ghost.
Yeah, your ghost. My ghost.
Oh, I'm already a ghost. I can like pop out one eye and I show her that there's nothing behind it.
Slump looks up at Galdric holding out the eye and starts licking his lips.
No, I put it back in.
Aw.
Mine.
Okay. Then you feel this divine inspiration. Like there's a time when the monkey is big, and then there's a time when the monkey is small. So there must be something that happens in between those times. And maybe if you were super sneaky and went into the cave and crept around, you could see what happens to make it go from big monkey to small monkey.
Thanks, God.
Ejaculation. Okay, let's.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Actually, Jake says that because Jake is AFK. He's got to go pick up his kid. So Jake says, "Hey guys, isn't there supposed to be a thing that happens to make it go from a big monkey to a small monkey?
Yeah.
Let's go see what that is."
That was spot on, Jake.
Yeah, right. I nailed it. I've really got into the character.
Yeah. You first.
Okay, let's be quiet. Okay, you guys go into the cave and you are extremely quiet because any kind of sound would really throw the timing because we're 5 minutes over time. You come around the bend and you see a huge chamber with giant lightning monkey at the backside. And there's these huge metal rods sticking out of the back of the cave. The monkey grabs onto the rods and starts to shrink as you see this unbelievable electrical discharge into the rods at the back of the cave. But then Slump farts really, really loudly because he's a big, dumb person. And I'm not going to make you roll for it because it has to happen.
Okay.
And Slump farts and the monkey turns around. It's not fully discharged. It's still got a lot of lightning in it, but it turns and it extends its hand and shoots a giant fucking lightning bolt right at you guys. Ooh. So I am going to basically deal 2 harm to everyone. By the way, Slump, you recovered your harm. You slept and you're back to full harm. So okay. You're not missing any. You are all going to take 2 harm unless you can do something about it. This is a giant monkey lightning bolt coming straight at you.
Slump wants to throw himself in front of Galdric.
Okay, this is good. There's actually a roll to protect someone.
Okay.
Which is plus tough, I believe. And you don't have anything to change that. So, yes, you are going to roll 2d6 plus tough, which is 2. So 2d6 plus 2. Hey. Oh, that's a full success. Hey-o. Let's just make sure we look at what protect someone is. Protect someone on a 10 plus. On any success, 7 or more, you protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get. If you roll a 10 plus, choose an extra. You suffer little harm, so you're going to suffer -1 harm. Okay, yeah, so Galdric is not going to take any damage. Nice. And you can choose to either suffer little harm, you're only going to suffer 1 harm, or all impending danger is now focused on you, or you inflict harm on the enemy, or you hold the enemy back.
And hold the enemy back literally means like just physically distance-wise?
It's going to be, yeah, like you kind of, you prevent it from charging you or I guess like attacking you again kind of thing somehow.
Okay, but one of the options is harm the...
Yeah, you inflict harm on the enemy, all impending danger is focused on you, or you suffer less harm.
So... you suffer less damage. Does that mean that I would suffer the 2? Because we've taken 2 harm. So this means that I would suffer 1 additional harm. But if I wanted to harm the monkey, then I would suffer the full 2 additional harm.
Exactly. You would suffer 4 full harm from the lightning bolt if you chose anything other than suffer little harm.
Okay, I'll choose the suffer less harm.
Okay, perfect. Because if you took the full 4, you'd be in danger zone.
Yep.
And actually, I think there's actually a monstrous thing where you actually have 2 armor, which means you basically have 2 extra harm you can take.
Okay.
So you could, I can look that up later, but I think you could technically take some extra harm before medical. But do you want to take the less harm?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it throws this huge lightning bolt straight at you guys. And seeing this coming, Slump, you kind of let go of Galdric's legs across your shoulders, and he just kind of falls off the back of you as you eat the lion's share of the fucking lightning bolt, and it feels bad. Yeah, it feels real bad, but you... Exactly. But you notice...
Thanks. I scratched behind his ear.
You notice that it has shrunk in size even further by shooting that lightning bolt at you guys. So I'm just going to spell it out because we're almost 10 minutes over time. When it discharges lightning, it gets smaller. When it's small, it's killable, and it doesn't like light. There is no initiative order. Anybody goes whenever they want, except if you say, I do this, I do that, I do this, I'm going to stop you.
Hey, fuck. Jake, you have a flashbang? You seem tactical.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Throw that shit!
I throw my flashbang. That's a good idea, actually, because that's not a kick some ass. That's just act under pressure. So for the expert, act under pressure is plus cool, which is... No, wait, plus sharp, so it's 2d6 plus 2. Damn, I'm going to have to roll. I'm breaking my rule already. Eight. That's a mixed success. Act under pressure. Mixed success. There's going to be a price to pay. So he flashbangs, and he's so caught up in the moment that it goes off and it blinds the giant monkey thing. But he forgot to close his eyes, so now Jake is also blinded and doesn't know where the fuck he is. But the monkey, after being blinded, just starts shooting lightning all over the place, missing everyone and also making it shrink in size dramatically. So it is now just a big gorilla size and still has some lightning in it.
Slump is now sort of coming to, and despite the fact that he knew he was jumping in front of the lightning to try to save Galdric, he's really, really, really mad that he got hit by lightning.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he's gonna charge in, running as fast as his fucking tree trunk sized legs will take him.
Yeah,
and try to punch the thing right in the fucking snout as hard as possible.
All right, so this is
bad banana dog.
all right. This is definitely kick some ass. This is the straight up combat roll. So when you kick some ass, you will always take damage, and the roll is to determine how much damage you do to the monster. So kick some ass is roll plus tough, which the monstrous is plus 2, so 2d6 plus 2. Nice. Okay, 8 means you deal damage to each other, and I don't think there's anything extra with kick some ass. 7 or more. Yeah, you just both deal damage to each other. So I'm going to say that basically you hit the thing you do 3 harm worth of damage to it, because you have a base natural attacks of claws and life drain. So I'm going to say you ball up this giant fucking double lunchbox fist. The monkey is just shooting lightning in every direction, and you fucking sock it right in the nose. Like it's as it's reeling around to look at the sound that's coming towards it, you completely fucking crush its face in with an ungodly punch. And not only that, but because this is a living thing that you draw life from, you heal 2 harm when you fucking punch it. You literally suck the life out of it.
All right, I'm into that.
But as it's like you fucking hit it and you have to take harm back, you do take 3 harm when it's just fucking spiraling around in lightning. You punch it so hard in the nose, it shoots lightning out of its nostrils. And you do get zapped for 3 harm.
Okay.
Does that put you 1 into the danger zone?
Yeah, I think I'm at 3 now.
Okay. You're at 3 harm?
Or maybe I'm at 4, I think.
You're like you have 4 harm left kind of thing?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, make that 4 harm left. Okay, no, that's perfect. Yes, exactly. Okay, good. Then you're not quite hospital situation, but you are feeling you've now taken 2 Odin-sized lightning bolts.
Okay. I turn around and sort of teeter-totter to each side and go,
Oh, Slump need take nappy bye.
just fall over.
All right.
Oh, okay. I like jump up before he falls over on me. I'm like, okay, you.
Lou, do you want to do anything?
Can we somehow get these rods in the walls at him? Like force him to connect with the rod again to get rid of the rest of his electricity?
It's it would be tough to do that. It seems more likely to just anger him and cause him to throw lightning and then avoid the lightning is probably your best bet. Now, I will say one thing, because Lou, your character is a little bit complicated. You can just do a thing called use magic. And magic is literally anything you can think of. Literally, if you want a thing to happen, you can use magic to do it. If it's too crazy, then it's big magic and you can't do it. But there are no limitations on what use magic is.
Oh, dang.
So if you can think of a magic thing to do to make this thing discharge some lightning, I think you guys will be in a good situation.
Well, it doesn't like light, right?
That's right, yeah.
So a big light explosion.
Okay, light explosion.
I would like to create a big beam, like a big spotlight on it from above.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay. So you're going to roll to use magic to create a giant fucking stage spotlight at the top of the ceiling to just shine right in his face. So you are going to roll plus weird. So that is 2d6 plus 2. 9 is a mixed success. So I think that means I give it a glitch. Let's just make sure. On a 7 to 9, it works imperfectly. Choose your effect and a glitch. Okay, let's just do this. All right, it is in the Discord. There are the glitches. You can pick one of those. The effect is weakened. The effect is of short duration. You take 1 harm, ignore armor. The magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect. You pick one of those and I will narrate it.
I pick that the effect is of a short duration.
That is probably the best glitch you could have chosen. So this giant spotlight just fabricates in the fucking sky and turns on and goes right into this thing's eyeballs. If it rubs its eyes from the flashbang finally being okay, and then it hears this weird fabric ripping sound of a spotlight apparating above it, and as it looks at the sound, the spotlight turns on and blasts it in the eyes with light, and then promptly fizzles out and explodes. So it lasted all of about 2 seconds, but it did it, and the monkey gets really upset, starts jumping up and down and punching the walls, exploding lightning with every footfall and hand crash, and it discharges basically all of its lightning in a giant fit until it's just a little monkey.
Yay!
Yes.
And now, and then it gets really angry and it charges at you guys. It's got its hands out like it's trying to shoot lightning, but it also does have rabies infected teeth that it wants to bite you with.
I was gonna say definitely rabies, yeah.
Definitely rabies.
Jake, shoot it.
Jake, who finally gets to take their turn, shoots it in the face, which there's no roll for it because it's a dumb monkey that's doing a dumb thing and it's 3 feet away, and so he just fucking shoots it in the head, and the monkey falls over dead.
Hey, success!
Success.
I feel bad about the monkey.
Now we get num from Mr. Skullhat. Angry Man, call us names.
Yeah, wait, no, not, wait, do we already stab it?
Nobody has put the ceiling nail in yet.
Stump?
The ceiling nail is nowhere to be seen. Slump looks guilty.
Slump, where'd the ceiling nail go?
Slump goes and starts shaking his head back and forth like he doesn't want Galdric to put
if you don't give it to me, that bad monkey is gonna come back and shoot you with more lightning.
Slump is being stubborn and trying to close his mouth to try in vain to stop Galdric from putting his fingers down his throat. I
pinch his nose. I grab it. God damn it, Slump. This is I'm holding with 2 fingers. This is disgusting.
Slump need num.
All right, whatever. Where do we stab it? I don't remember.
He wasn't very specific. He just said you just have to drive it in anywhere into the body, and that should do it.
Should it be heart? It seems like generally hearts in these things.
Where did he get shot at?
In the face. There's no face on the monkey anymore.
God damn it! I'll use the bullet trajectory as like an easy slide in access, so I don't have to like grasp this thing to push it in.
Yeah, all right. There's like a giant. So it's not a bullet. It's like an impact laser. Okay. Which I can go into more detail on the next one. But yeah, there is basically a big gaping hole in the front of it. You just kind of slide the nail in until it hits the back, and then you give it an extra little push to make sure it pierces some of the flesh. And then the body just kind of goes gray and then falls into ash. And the sealing nail falls into ash with it. And that's it for the hunt. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah!
We did it!
Yeah!
I helped!
Yeah! All right, so that is basically going to do it for our session. We went 20 minutes over time because things are crazy.
It took a while. That's fine.
Yeah. This was an atypical session. We spent a lot of time on the intros. I hope you guys at least appreciated the intros. They were fun to write. I thought they gave a bit of a flavor for the characters.
Absolutely.
Next time we are going to be basically coming in, and I'm going to give you guys a more fully fleshed out mystery. There's going to be a lot more rolling, a lot more interacting with NPCs. We're not going to be as rushed. But this was a good flavor for kind of the Monster of the Week system where the dice rolls are significantly less important than the narrative power. So
yeah, I loved it.
Definitely.
I loved it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Good games, guys.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for the hosts too. That was
absolutely.
Massively appreciated. Thank you guys for
Absolutely.
playing. And
See you next Friday.
Yes, I will see you guys next Friday. Same bat time, same bat
Definitely.
channel.
Yes.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye!
Okay, chat. Let's play some outro music, guys. Let's play some outro music. Ooh, we can play my intro song again. Sure, let's just do that. Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I have put a huge amount of work into this, and it's so much fun to see it actually come into fruition. Writing the music, writing the stories, getting the players together. This has been so much fun. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys are going to show up again. I'm going to redouble my efforts. I'm going to put so much passion and heart into this project. It's going to be an absolute fucking blast. Here's the thing, every single thing you saw, the red oil guy, the lady falling into, it's a bit loud. The lady uncoiling, the thing, the monsters at the party, all these things are actually in the lore. I actually have explanations, lore, and story for everything that you guys saw. It's all part of a story. I'm not going to lost this. I'm not going to start trying to make up explanations at the end. I have the entire story mapped out, guys, and it's fucking good. I'm really passionate about this, so thank you guys for hanging out. Let's run some credits. Lore! You gotta get into the lore! Dirty Cologne, thank you for the 50 biddies. All right, let's read the credits, guys. So, joining the Tact crew, we had Cesardal, Bear of Flame, Royal Knight, Dissecu, Lacuna, Chorusbra, Cam PCS, Dobbles Braits, The Mighty Quinn, Dirty Cologne, Keitham9, Phosphodago 122, Killara Ginger Twin, T2, It's Apathy, Soto, Triptych, Calcifer, Werewolf, Something Savage, Wolfer Sky, Doctorino, Drave, Something About Canton, and Venalis. Where's our 1 hour exposition? I could sit here and give you guys like a 2 or 3 hour exposition on the story behind this. Ooh, yes, that's a good one. I absolutely will. Guys, we are going to raid Vanguard. This has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much. We're going to raid Vanguard. Very, very good dude. I'm going to play some Destiny with him later this weekend. I just can't tell you how happy I am that this went well, guys. Thank you so much. You're all fucking amazing. I am so very excited for next week. All right, let's raid Vanguard. Take care of yourselves. I love you guys. Have a great night.